Going on, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to the Bookstreet Boys podcast. We are here with some awesome people. Looks like Sam is busy trying to reread Mercy Tears of the Fallen here, which is, probably a good
Love
read.
that.
Yeah, we're excited to be here with you guys tonight for episode 3 of season 2. This episode has been a long time coming. It has been canceled or rescheduled 3 times due to weather and to schedules. So we're excited to be able to be here with you guys. I think Sam and Jay were a part of at least like 2 of those reschedules that we thought we were going to do.
Finally got it in.
And then we ended up not being able to. And the youngin was able to go to sleep. And so Stephanie is able to be here with us as well. We're excited for that. And obviously the venerable Chance Dillon, author extraordinaire. We're excited to be here tonight. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us. We got a great show full of ranting and raving and talking about some interesting things. We're going to be talking a little bit tonight about the Sanderson Apple news as well. That's kind of our big user question. So stoked to kind of chat about that and see what you guys think about not just the deal, whether it's good for Sanderson, but also just talk a little bit about what makes a good adaptation in general and what you guys hope to see from that. And then another interesting question to come from that may be who's next? Who would you like to see next kind of get that big deal in the fantasy or sci-fi space? But we got a rant. That's what everyone is here to see. So thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. Let's see who's in the chat. We got Books, Beverages, and Besties. EJ's here. Pastor Alex is here. Topher is here. Oki is here. So many awesome people. Carly actually made it on time, which is very impressive. We're proud of you, Carly. Wow. Next thing we know, she's going to put out another YouTube video in the next 6 months. Just kidding.
It's hard.
She brings it on herself. It's okay. JCM Byrne is here for the rants. Awesome. Good to see you here, JCM. So let's go ahead and get started this evening. What we're going to do is we're going to go 2 rants, and then we're going to move to our big user question and then finish it up with the last 3 rants. Assuming Stephanie has one. I know it's a little last minute for you, but is there anything you think you can rant about tonight? We can let you go towards the end, so you can.
I was going to say I'm the last one to join, and then you're going to throw it.
No, not going to put you in there
first. About something.
Okay, it's easy to rant about something. Just think about the most Jay has made you mad in the last year.
There should be plenty of firepower.
The last hour.
Oh no, Jay. All right. Well, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna let a seasoned veteran go first. Okay. And that means I'm gonna let the Chance Dylan go first. If you're good with that, do you have
I am. Yeah.
something to rant about? All right, let's move to our cool scene here. I got to make
Oh
sure.
no, you're gonna put me on the whole thing.
Yeah, boom.
By the way, your layouts are probably this soapbox, this Bookstreet pod layout is probably the best I've seen.
Thanks, man.
Just as a shout out.
I put a little effort into it, more effort than I put into actually planning and executing the podcast. But
No, I think it works. You know, we flow, we make it happen.
we flow. Awesome. All right. Well, the floor is yours, man.
Mine pretty brief. It's actually probably more resonant on your responses, but I think I think UK covers are better than US covers a lot of the time. And I don't know if this is a case of it's what we don't, you know, they have what we want, but we don't have it, you know? And so that greatly haunts me is that the Empire of the Vampire series, that those UK covers, I think, although I love the US ones, but those covers in the UK are amazing. And honestly, Sanderson's books as well, as much as I love the art that we see on the US covers, I don't know. I like the cool stylistic stuff. I will say Sun Eater is one where I'm a little bit more torn. Yeah, and I knew Sam was thinking about that one. and that's mostly because of what is inside of those covers that makes me second guess myself there. But that would be the argument against UK covers. Would start with Sun Eater for me.
What's inside the Sun Eater covers? What are you referencing?
I think I don't know how they did it, but however they put together their covers for the UK are a little different than how people typically make covers. I'm not exactly sure as to what it is. I don't want to misquote anybody, but they are a little I don't know, just bizarre.
I agree with you. I'm trying to think of the one that sticks out to me the most. Empire of the Vampire for sure.
Yeah.
Now the Barnes and Noble exclusives of that series for US were pretty. They were kind of done up, so I have those, so that helps.
Yeah, I'm trying to think,
but I do think that the UK covers are better there. The Sanderson one is interesting because that's like probably the most different, like in terms of
that are jarring.
The UK being so jarringly different. Because the US are very specific type of art style, and then the UK are almost complete opposite in terms of concept.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. As much as I love that like classic style looking art and I see the intention there, I don't know. It's just like it just doesn't register with me the same as like the other art that artist has done, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. We had in the chat here, someone said the Poet Empress UK cover is not as good. I gotta look that up real quick. That is very true. Very true.
One.
You have the
UK one.
Yeah, you have the US one.
I'm saying we got to win.
Yeah.
We got to win over
there
here.
There you go.
Yeah, the UK cover is definitely worse. Now, I will say the UK cover doesn't look like Romantasy, and the US cover looks like Romantasy, which I had a little bit of a thought on that because that book 100%. I picked it up from Books A Million, and I took it to the counter, and the guy looked at me and said, "This looks spicy." It's literally what he said. Show it off. He said, "This looks spicy."
Oh yeah,
I'll pull it over.
Spicy.
And I was like, actually, I've heard it's the opposite of spicy.
Very glittery.
Which I don't know what that means. I'm very interested to see what opposite of spicy means. That's what
he said that.
The besties told me that. That it's
I guess it means it's like
Besties
very
know all.
minty.
I think it's supposed to be like very, very like opposed to the enemies to lovers. Like she's not falling for it. She's killing homie or something. We're gonna find out, I guess.
Apparently, it's going to destroy us when we read it.
I've heard. But yeah, Chance, I agree with you sometimes, man. I think part of it is that like I wish I could get that one.
Yeah.
You know, the Devils. I think I liked the UK better.
I think you might be right.
Yeah, because the UK cover was like blue and gold instead of that like
that's what it was.
Black
It was
and
like
red.
a deep navy.
Yeah.
I love that cover though.
Yeah, they are really pretty. It's probably better for our wallets that we don't.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
You could be one of those people who just orders from Waterstones as well.
Oh, I know. Those are the ones I always see. And I'm always like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. We buy too much.
To get
book,
Hat
probably.
to bring us some over here when
That's
he comes
true.
to visit.
That's true. If only the Devils was a good book.
Just has to throw a jab in.
Oh no, yeah. Don't tell her that. That's the one
That's
she's
my
gonna
pick
read.
from Jay for this year.
That's how everybody feels about Red Rising.
Whoa, buddy. Are there Red Rising UK covers?
I just had to say that because Preacher. But for the record,
Yeah,
I enjoy Red Rising, but
You
but I
better.
like getting Preacher a little riled up.
You better
Steamed
enjoy
up.
That's
that.
the thing with like the Cosmere UK covers. Like I get, it's cool to have a uniform look, but they look a little too homogenous in my mind. Like
Yeah.
Fair.
they kind of blend together, and like it's there's no
Especially
accounting for
Mistborn.
taste. So
Especially
know.
the Mistborn ones look super homogenous, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly. They're
And so,
like
like,
real, they're white with like little wisps of blue on them.
like if Chance says he prefers them, I can't be no, stop liking it. Like I mean, I'm not. You can't tell somebody
No,
not to
that's
like
that's
it.
how this conversation has to go down. Yeah, I have to be convinced to switch my
Yeah, you
opinion.
see that?
But I
Mhm,
guess
saw
put
that.
it this way: if I saw those covers on like a self-pub book, I would assume that they were like covers done on a budget versus like the US ones. It's like,
Yeah,
no, that's like you went and hired an expensive artist to. Which
that's fair. That's fair.
to people's taste, like, to each their own. But like that's the Sanderson Cosmere ones, because I know back in the day Daniel Green was he's like, oh, those are so much better, and I never got bit by that bug.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of times what interests me the most about this conversation is just like how interesting it is that the two different publishing houses would have such different vibes a lot of times.
Yeah.
Where it's like that they read the same book and they went such vastly different directions. I do have to say here that this is not true. I pulled up my review. I gave it a 3 stars. So
Shay actually gave The Road 5 stars.
Yeah, Shay gave The Road 6 stars, I heard.
Shay really liked The Road.
Yeah. Also, if you hear my children in the background, they're still downstairs in the kitchen because we just got home from church. So you'll probably hear some screaming at some point, but that's okay. The UK Farseer trilogy hardcovers from the 90s. Oh, let me see. Farseer. Okay. Is that the one with the actual person on the front instead of just the like crests? Because I think the American ones are the ones with the crests, right? For the Assassin's Apprentice. Yeah, those are not as good looking. Ooh, you know what the worst UK covers were the UK First Law.
Oh, those are the ones that kind of look like a map,
those
right?
suck. Yeah, the UK First Law are bad. It's just like a bloody map.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the US First Law aren't that much better. So
I think I feel similarly. I think Age of Madness, those US covers are gnarly.
Yeah, those are significantly. I actually like both of them though. That's one where I don't know which one I would pick. The Age of Madness, both UK and US are pretty good.
Yeah.
Hot take: Dune is mid. This is a random hot take.
Dune generally is mid.
Time to attack Dune.
we're just attacking Dune. What a word! Homogenous.
Yeah.
Homogenous.
Once the stream is over, you guys should go look up. There's a YouTube channel. His name is the Sanderson Collector.
Okay.
And he has a video that's like the top 5 or the top 10 worst Sanderson covers, and most of them are covers from like foreign countries and like their version of it. And there's like one where it's for one of the Alcatraz Smedry books where the guy is modeled to look just like Harry Potter and the villain's holding a lightsaber for some reason. It has nothing to do with it. There's another one where there's like a naked lady covered in fire on the cover of it, and they're like, why is this on the cover of a Sanderson YA book?
Trust us. Trust us. This is really going to do it.
Well, none of those other countries have Tom Orange covers.
That is true.
Not a single one.
Forget US. Forget UK. It's Tom Orange originals.
Edition. I do need to get that from him for something.
This is true. First Law does need more great art. And they finally got a special edition, right? Who put out those special editions?
Lit Escalante.
Yeah. The Red Rising people.
The fancy way to say it, Escalante.
Lit Escalates, dude.
Lit Escalante. The third of those covers is good.
Yeah, it's like when they call it Target, Lit Escalates.
Yeah.
Oh, it's called something else.
That's what I thought it was in my head.
I think it's lit escalates.
Lit escalates.
But I could be wrong.
It's a Red Rising reference to a word I can't say, escalates, which is a chapter in one of the Red Rising books.
Which one?
Morning Star,
I
believe.
I was curious.
Yeah, I think it's Morning Star. It's S word escalates.
F word.
Sorry. Yeah, this is a family-friendly channel.
Wait, what?
This is a family-friendly channel.
I wasn't
Maybe?
preferring anything.
The hard cover topic is indie versus trade. Okay, look,
Mm.
I
That's a good point.
love some of the schlocky indie covers. They're fantastic. Like the Dungeon Crawler Carl, I think is a great example. I love both, but those original covers are they're just cool, Jay. Like they're
Yeah,
just silly.
there is
purpose.
something pretty epic about those original.
Oh my God.
original
Jay's a
covers.
hater. Jay's a
I'm a
hater
hater
of the
of
original
this.
covers.
On the originals.
I probably would have never read it if I had just seen that in the store and not seen the beautiful hardcover editions they had.
Yeah,
I'm just not a fan.
I didn't know you were pretentious, man.
I think
I
now I just appreciate the old ones. You know, now that we have the new ones, I'm just like, man, that really stinks. There's something about that for me.
Yeah, I currently have one.
I'm new to the game, so
I have 1, 2, and 4 in the old paperbacks, and then 3, 4, 5, and 6 in the hardcovers. It's not good. It's not. But apparently the paperbacks are like expensive. Like I could sell them for $1 now. So,
well, there's just not many like book covers that I look at that are just text that I love. Like there's a few, but if your cover is just like text, even if it's like ooh kooky font, it's like like
there's like a political thriller that I think is it Brad Thor who does it, who has covers that have just words, but within the cover is like a character hiding.
Yeah, the Jeff Brown comment here. My hot take is that Jeff Brown, too many of his covers look the same.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's a hot take at this point. Like they're great. The artwork is absolutely gorgeous, but you can't have like a dude walking towards a large object in every single cover you do. And he's like
so good.
He's at like a 90% rate at this point.
Yeah.
So when he does ones that don't have that, it sticks out even more. Like he put out one recently, cannot remember what it was for, and it didn't have that giant object in the background that we're walking towards. And I was like, that's the best cover I've ever seen by him.
But
he is a fantastic artist.
I think it says something that everything that comes out from him, we're expecting to be
for sure
as excellent as his most excellent stuff. And it's just like the pure volume that he's doing,
Well,
it's
here's
just like,
I'm sure it happened this way.
and it's
right?
all quality, but
I'm sure he put out one where that was like his frame. And then someone else was like, I want something like that.
Yeah.
And then someone else was like, I have a really cool thing that we can put in the background for my story. And that was just what people asked him to do. And it's like I said, he's so good that I don't ever even question when it's him.
Yeah.
Right.
I wonder
I have gotten a little desensitized to like that specific style of cover.
Those James Logan books did it. Can you not hear me? Am I muted?
I got you. You said James Logan.
I think Blackfire Blade is his best cover. At least it's my favorite of his.
Yeah, those are really gnarly.
Yeah, those are gorgeous. Yeah. Those are gorgeous for sure. He put out one recently too that I would like absolutely loved. And like I said, I just didn't have that same setup where there was something maybe kind of people walking towards something. I think the Depths of Volnov one is like gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
But that one has like the thing in the background. But yeah, I think he's probably the best around right now.
The best.
That's for sure. Gosh, what was the one I just saw? The Sapphire Heart one is gorgeous as well. The Elements of Time one is awesome. Okay, I gotta stop doing this. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, I feel like we're just gonna say all the things that we like. It's gonna be so hard to find one that you don't. But the point, I guess, is that they all have a very similar vibe.
Yeah, just
but he's got a style. That's like
I'm good with the style. Minimalism is cool, but can achieve the same iconic symbol effect with actual paintings. It's fair.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like plain text covers are mostly romantasy.
Yeah, good point.
Yes, it was The Price of Fear. That was the one that he just put out that I thought was gorgeous. It was The Price of Fear.
Oh, yeah. The Gallows.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Anything else anybody want to add to the UK-US conversation? All right. Chance, you are... Oh, Sam?
Ooh. Oh, I was just gonna say, I was just thinking about like cover trends, and one thing that came to mind is like, do you remember back in like the mid 2010s when like every fantasy cover was a guy posing with a sword?
Mm.
And I feel like that has kind of left as a trend,
Need it back.
Those original Night Angel covers are the ones that really come to mind of like guy like posing with 2 knives, you know? And it's like I've not seen a cover look like that in a very long time.
Yeah,
It'll come back.
There's a lot of assassin books with that cover for sure.
Yeah.
Because that is the Brent Weeks one. That's the one you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I figured. That's the one you were talking about. Awesome. Well, Chance, I agree with you sometimes. I disagree with you sometimes. Because this is the internet, I'm now going to go find one time where I disagree with you and then discount your entire opinion.
Right. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Just wait till my response video.
Oh, crap. Wait till my response video to your response video.
Yeah, just go back.
Here's one that we could
We'll be
toss
boxing.
in. The Danish cover of the 3 Body Problem is better
I
than
gotta
the
look
English
this one up.
Looking it up right now. Danish.
Yeah,
And by the way, Jeff Brown's covers of the 3 Body Problem. But yeah, you bet your butt I'm looking that up.
Yeah, I haven't typed Danish into my search.
Oh, that's pretty. I think that's the Danish one. I don't know. That doesn't look like Danish writing.
It's all a show, right?
I don't know. You'll have to send it to me so we can look at it. The newest John Gwynn one should be the standard. Love. All right, we've got.
Those John Gwynn ones are pretty gnarly.
They are gorgeous. How did you guys feel about this? Is totally just continuing on this topic. The special edition of the trilogy. I saw them at Books and Million, where they just took the lettering off of the front of the covers. Have you seen those?
Yeah. for like Shadow of the Gods.
Yeah, I thought that was an
yeah.
interesting way to go about doing like kind of a hardcover special edition.
I think this is more of like a deluxe.
Yeah, or like to do something a little different, a little bit extra, but not be anything crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. But,
Just like a step up. We're like, hey, remember, you see all those words that are big? Forget those.
Take them words off.
Honestly, I can appreciate that. That's like it's such good art. Like, I would let that do the talking.
Well, that's right.
Books are long enough.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where you got to do. You got to have art that good to be able to take the words off and still sell, right? Awesome. All right. Well, Chance, thank you so much for your soapbox time, sir. I'm gonna call to the floor. Jay,
this is scary.
You got this, Jay. I believe in you. Hold on. I remember how to put you in here.
As long as it's not mine.
You guys get on the big
screen. There it is.
There we go.
Jay, the soapbox is all yours.
All right. So I guess I don't have really a rant. I'm not that much of a ranting kind of guy, if you know me. But I have more of a conundrum for this month. And whoever came up with the book bracket for last year was the first year that I had done that. And it was really fun until I got to January of this year. And as you know, Dustin, I have no idea what I'm picking for my favorite book of the month because I read 3 absolute 5 stars this month, and it has been torturing me to try to figure it out.
Okay, 2 things really quickly.
Put it up to everybody here and try
you
to
should.
decide for me.
2 things real quick. I played hockey with you. You can rant.
Oh, well, that's more in the moment. That's
And 2, tell us what books were the 5 stars for you.
All right, so right off the the I read Piranesi, which I just realized that I'd been pronouncing that wrong the other day. So a couple of videos that we've done, I've said Piranesi. Sorry, apologies for that.
Well, I'm sure you're not the only one.
But,
tomato, potato, dude.
So that was right off the bat, and that was incredible. So insane recommendation from Riggs and you. I know you didn't like that I left you out of that, but he's got the tattoo.
That is true. He's more into it. Right?
I loved that so much. And all 3 books were so different in terms of size and style. I guess the next one, Lonesome Dove, was closer to Demon Copperhead than Piranesi, obviously. But, we had Piranesi that was about this big. Then we had Demon Copperhead about 550. And then we had the massive saga of Lonesome Dove that I know you just got through. But all 3 were so good in their own way. And it's so hard to pick between those different styles and different lengths of book. I mean, it's just almost impossible for me.
Yeah. It's funny. Those are so different, but they all are all 3 of those I could see being like read in an English class in a contemporary fiction environment. They're all 3 that peak level of writing but all very different. I would agree. That'd be a tough one.
Very
I'm
tough.
going Demon Copperhead out of the 3, but I'm also biased. So
Yeah, but to start a year like that for me, it's just been nuts, man. It's like I should just not even read for the rest of the year. Just go into like a monk status.
It's only downhill from here, dude.
Yeah, right.
Well, like you also read like Ironbound, which you liked this month.
I know.
It's just like
so
a
Ironbound really
great month.
it got kind of buried under that, you know. It's wild. I read Cujo, which was awesome. That was better than I expected it to be, you know, even for a Stephen King book. I kind of had undersold it to myself for so long as being like scary dog, you know, which is like shame on me because I know that when you're reading King, you're going to get a lot more than just that horror element. So yeah, it's been a really great month for me, but yeah, just have no idea. I'm just gonna have to.
I think we should put it up to a vote here. You know, we should put it up to a vote.
That's a great idea.
Look, it looks like they're already voting.
Yeah, Demon Copperhead is getting my vote, but you know.
I haven't read Demon Copperhead, so I can't speak to it.
Yeah, Piranesi is the only one I've read. So
I was going to say Piranesi, which is also wrong. Piranesi. Piranesi. Italian book. I didn't even know.
Wait, what did Jackson call it when you did the cover challenge with
Jackson
him?
called it Horseman Blowing a Trumpet.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
Horseman.
So that's easier to say.
He's a goat man. Excuse me.
Yeah, get it right, dude. Get it right. Now the
maybe he did say goat man, but he called Lonesome Dove the Horse Riders.
And Cujo was scary face.
Cujo was scary face.
Yeah.
Topher says Piranesi. I mean, for me, I think Demon Copperhead and Lonesome Dove are like on the exact same level in terms of quality. I just connected more with Demon than I did with any of the Lonesome Dove characters. That's the only difference. It's funny. I posted that the character work was immaculate, but then I also said in my review that I didn't connect with any of them. And someone commented and said, "How is that possible?" I'm like, because the characters are perfectly done. I mean, there's not a critique I would make in terms of the actual writing of characters. I just couldn't find myself in any of them, right? Whereas with Demon, that was an easily could relate to. So I mean, that was really the only difference for me. It was, I think, the time jump, right, and kind of the culture shift that exists when you think about what was going on in that book is probably the difference for me. A lot of those people were just terrible people.
Yeah, I think both of those books, but both Lonesome Dove and Demon Copperhead were ones where right away when I started reading, I knew like immediately that as long as something crazy didn't happen, that they were going to be books that I loved. Just the writing style and the dialogue and everything that went with it. I knew those were going to be books that I loved. So it's going on the puzzle. We're throwing Demon Copper. We're kicking something out when we get to a bad book from the puzzle. Yeah. And Demon Copperhead's going on.
Demon Copperhead deserves to be on the puzzle.
Great American novel.
I would say it needs to be read in high school, but I know a bunch of high schoolers now, and I know what they read. And
what are they
reading? They don't read the same kind of stuff we read, Big Dog. Like they're reading like Catching Fire or whatever. What's the first book?
Hunger Games.
They're reading like Hunger Games in like senior year of high school.
I don't know.
And like complaining that it's too long. Hey, The Great Gatsby's a good one.
He just read that one for
good.
English.
Good. I have
Well, he might have listened to it.
Yeah, that was me in
not
school.
read it at all.
No,
I don't know. It
not.
was on their syllabus. I know that much.
I had to explain to one of my students that I had to drive to Books A Million to buy the Spark Notes of Grapes of Wrath.
What a hard life.
You know, I was like, you had to literally go buy a physical book called Spark Notes of Grapes of Wrath. And he was like, you couldn't just like ChatGPT it? It's like, no, it's not. You couldn't just ChatGPT it. Yeah,
it's so funny. And in the beginning is also you couldn't just read it, you know, even though I wouldn't have.
All right, real quick, Sam is gonna disappear for a second. He's gonna switch.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see all three of those being classics in the next 20 years. Maybe Lonesome Dove doesn't make it onto the high school reading list because of the content. But
yeah.
Or maybe not.
I guess. Yeah, that shocked me. By the way.
The content
specifically about violence.
Oh, did you read it too?
Yeah.
Chance? Oh, you did? Oh.
Yeah, I love that book.
It's so good.
Yeah, I think it has probably one of my favorite written female characters. At the very end. I can't remember. It's been
Clara?
Yes, yeah.
The only one that's not the worst person ever.
The goat.
Yeah, the one that just like, you know. But I think that was like the way that character was done was so, to me, it was perfect. Like,
Yeah,
it's
she was
really up there.
Of course, Chance the goat would love Clara the goat. That's just
That's
perfect.
I don't know. There was 2 characters I was texting Jay like, I can't decide who I hate more.
Well, one of them
one
has to
the
be.
one male character that we're obviously supposed to hate. And then one female character that we're obviously, I think, supposed to hate. I ended up hating her more, I think, by the end. Goodness gracious, she was the worst.
Wait, you gotta tell me, I guess, off if we don't want to spoil anything.
Here, all right, I'll put it in private chat.
Yeah. So,
It's in private chat. But yeah,
It's
the
funny.
We're gonna talk about more about that soon too.
Yeah,
right?
that you guys liked the book so
Right.
much and hated most of the characters in it. I guess that speaks to the writing then.
Yeah. I mean, or like his ability to, we're gonna do a spoiler filled discussion on this book with some people for sure. But his ability to like just engage with some complicated characters who really don't ever like learn from their mistakes that much, but at the same time, you're still like Gus is a great example of someone who like if I sit down and think about all the dumb bad things he's done, there's a long list, but I still for some reason found myself attracted to the guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, even though like
rooting for him the whole time.
He was
swag.
Right at the end of the day, like he was still like a womanizer and a user and like a lot of different things, but the world was so fleshed out that I almost felt like he had a reason to be like that. And it was like, I could see how the world had pulled him in that direction. And it takes a lot of work and just shows how good of an author he is. But man, the guy whose name starts with a J can fight me for sure. He can fight me.
He might.
Sorry, Jay. No, remember, he's not very violent. Remember, he's more of a talker than a.
That's true. There was that one instance.
That's true. That's true. But Demon Copperhead, though, whoo, baby, talk about just hitting too close to home. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys, but for me, that was what pushed that one up for me was just and I think the ending. Oh gosh.
Oh yeah.
The ending was obviously just tonally completely different from the ending of Lonesome Dove as well.
Yes. I've been trying not to say too much about the ending when I've talked about it, but I loved it. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, and then Piranesi is just a whole different.
Oh man, it's just all the way through, just so enjoyable, so fun to just try to figure out what's happening, what's going on, and so well written.
Yeah, we listened to it on the way home from New York. Me, Dave, and Matt. It was my second time taking it in, and I think at first I was gonna like put my headphones in because I was reading something else, and then Dave was like, "I'm gonna play Piranesi while we drive," because Matt had never read it, and I ended up just listening to the whole thing.
Yeah.
While we drove, we just drove in silence for 8 hours and did the whole book. Gosh, it's so good. Like her ability to harness like the whimsical little boy voice within like her writing. You know, this character who basically has no worldview because he doesn't remember anything except for this like crazy world he's in. Like that was impressive to me. I felt like I was in the mind of a genuine blank slate character.
Yeah, and like the whole time I would forget the whole entire time that he was, his age.
Yeah.
I thought he was
felt like a little child learning about the world for the first time.
Well, and that totally makes sense with the setting of Piranesi, right? Which is what's the term for it? Liminal spaces, like big blank empty hallways, endless corridors, and so that being like reflected in the character, I think is really clever of Clark. And there's not a whole lot of books that I read where I can say I've never read like anything like this.
Yeah.
But Piranesi gets close. Like the closest thing to it is like honestly Narnia, which is why she like has like a half dozen winks to the camera about it, and has Mr. Tumnus, on the cover. But yeah, it's pretty remarkable that she can do all of that in like, just a few hundred pages. And
it actually scares me. There's been a couple books that have been pitched to me recently where they've used Piranesi. And I'm like, I don't want you to say that because like that's
don't touch that.
I don't think it's going to be like Piranesi, right? Like I think someone pitched to me the Midnight Library recently, which looks interesting. And they were like, it's like Piranesi. And I'm like, don't say that. Like,
It's
give me
on our
something.
shelf right now
Yeah.
at Solberg.
Yeah. No,
Which-
that's not our copy though, because I
I
didn't
know.
want to give up our copy.
Yeah.
It
because I
could
liked
be it could be fantastic. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just like, there's sometimes when people say a book and I'm like, I don't know if it is. I don't know if it really is or not. You know.
You sure about that?
Yeah, maybe pick something different because that immediately creates a standard. Fraternal Cloud says he or she hated Demon Copperhead and almost DNF'd
I've
it,
seen this
and
a lot.
that makes me. I mean, look, I've never been so mad at a book in
It's
my
tough.
life.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, it's. There was moments where I was like, I might hate DNF this for a second, but it was just too good. You know. I think it really speaks to loneliness and how much is humans connect to a place emotionally. Oh, and Pure Nessie, 100%. 100%. Pure Nessie is a great book. I've not read Stranger Norrell. Honestly, the size is a little.
Oh yeah, I got that
Well,
on my list.
it's happening this year for me. So
Yeah, the size is sizing for sure. It's a big one. It's a big.
Justin, don't you know size doesn't matter?
Based on Carly Lynn's description, I saw somebody on Instagram post recently about, I don't know who is it a Dostoevsky short story called
Okay.
White Nights? I don't
Yeah.
know. I've never read it. I was just like, I sort of got a similar in his review that I was reading it. It's a lot similar to what she had just referenced about Demon Copperhead.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So
I
I'd be
think
curious.
I want to read some more of the author who wrote Demon Copperhead. I know she has like the Poisonwood Bible is the other one that a lot of
Yeah.
people.
I got that one on my list now too.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is just I don't think anything can top the combination of writing and just hitting so close to home for me personally that Demon Copperhead can. I mean, I would even. I'm working now through kind of a new top 10 list that I'm going to eventually kind of update since my video is definitely behind now on that. And it's going in the top 10 and I just can't decide how high at this point. Probably still not going to eke out Boy's Life just to jump the shark on that one. That one's probably not going to happen, but it's going to be up there for sure. Just because I still think about it and talk about it regularly. And it's been a hot minute and that means something to me, but I think Lonesome Dove is like creeping up too. So
It's
the
like
more I talk
think
about it,
yeah, the more I think about it, it just keeps going up. It's so
Yeah.
good.
Has anybody here read the other ones? Chance, have you read any of the other ones?
I was supposed to read Streets of Laredo last year, but that was before I estimated my reading speed. I had a much slower reading speed last year.
Sam, have you
calibrated?
read any of them?
No, not read any Kin Silver.
Have you read Lonesome Dove?
Nope, on the TBR this year.
Gonna happen. Gonna happen.
I did Pillars of the Earth and Shogun
I gotta do
last year.
Pillars.
PL Stewart is in the house. What's up, PL? He says, need to
What's
read
going on,
Piranesi. Been on the TBR for
me too.
while. Okay, let's talk about we've been talking a little bit about characters that you love to hate. There's a character in PL Stewart's book 1. You talk about love to hate. If you guys love to hate a character, pick up his book right now because that genuinely wanted to throw the book a couple times on purpose. Like it's what he wants you to do. But man,
Wow.
Shannon says, "I'll let Preacher continue to tell me how great Demon Copperhead is, but I won't be reading it." Love Piranesi. Haven't read Lonesome Dove. That's my sister, by the way. So I guess she doesn't. I guess she doesn't want to experience the same thing.
Yeah.
Shannon, I'd be interested to know how you feel about Lonesome Dove because there's lots of horses. You're a horse vet.
There are a lot of horses.
Lots of horses. You're
They don't always have the greatest
That's true.
experience in the book.
That's true.
Don't do that.
The
to
American
don't do
West.
it to her, dude.
Yeah, it's rough.
This is another one that I hear brought up a lot as like something that will be read classically for a
I
long
have to read
time.
that.
Reading that with your mom is a bold choice, my
Oh,
friend.
no.
That
Is
is
there
a bold
Is there
choice.
some wild stuff in Pillars of the Earth, dude?
Some wild
It's pretty dark, man.
Okay.
It gets really, really
For
disturbing.
Sam
and
to
dark
say
in a
that
couple of
is
bits.
This is one of those books though that when people pitch it to me, I'm like, that sounds boring. But I know it can't be because too many people like it.
So
The
this is the
pitch.
problem, Dustin, is that like the pitch to Pillars of the Earth, and it's accurate, is like it's about people building a church. And like, yes, that is technically true. Really what it is it's about this conflict that's the church is at the center of it, but it's this conflict that's like shaking up this entire town, where the leadership and like the lordship over the town is being overthrown, and so people are losing their jobs, people are being, castigated because they supported the old lord, and then the old church has just been destroyed, and so it's kind of caught right in the middle of it. And so it's really, the best way to pitch it is by like, it's about the characters, but even that isn't a very like compelling pitch either. But really, that's what it is. And Follett is a thriller author before he was a historical fiction author. Oh, one second. One second.
Follett.
Oh,
We have a child. We have a child.
oh, full of apple.
Oh, all right. Give him the pedestal.
Yeah, get on the soapbox.
He climbed right off.
Come on.
But I was gonna say,
Think
Follett
about
is a
nap time.
Follett's a thriller author, and so for as big of a book as Pillars of the Earth is, like, it never stops moving, like not for a minute. So,
I was going to say that, by the way, that Carly Lynn just said. I was just going to say 2 old Texas Rangers get bored. Is what I was just going to say. Lonesome Dove's pitches.
Yeah, I genuinely cannot wait to like chat with some people about the themes of that book, because it could go so many different ways. And like, we even chatted about it some in the Discord. If you're not in the Bookstreet Boys Discord, what are you doing? We chatted a little bit in the Bookstreet Boys Discord about kind of how those themes landed, and like this age old question of like, what did the author intend versus like, what did it do to me? Because like, I could go away from that without any kind of outside knowledge, both thinking, okay, Larry McMurtry wants me to be introspective about purpose, or he's a nihilist. Either of those could be true, right? Like, depending on how you let those, like the plot and the characters and the themes hit you. And I just really want to chat about that more in a very spoiler filled way. So we're gonna have to do that later. But I agree, Carly, that it really is just about a couple guys getting bored and walking.
Yeah.
And writing.
A couple dudes get bored.
Yeah. Speaking of good side characters, that
Two.
I think he's a perfect example of how Larry McMurtry can essentially build a whole character in about 5 minutes of screen time or page time. Whose comment?
Brian's comment.
Please rewrite Lonesome Dove for the POV of the cows. What's up, Brian? How you doing? Riggs is in the house. Hey, party people.
Oh my god, that is
so
so good.
There's a minor character in the second half of the book who essentially gets almost no page time, but I had this vivid idea of him almost immediately, and it's the chef.
Yeah. Right.
And like, he really doesn't do. No. The one they pick up.
Spoiler.
That's like such a minor detail. There's a character that comes into the scene about halfway through the book.
Yeah.
And like, essentially all you're really told about this guy is like some things he does in terms of like how he cooks. And occasionally he talks for like 3 seconds. But I felt like he'd been in the book for 500 pages, and within 2 pages, I was like, this character, I know exactly who this is. I know exactly how he talks. His voice is so distinct, right? And it took almost no time. And then you have all these other authors who like take 300 pages to flesh out even their main character. Lonesome Dove shows that the Old West was horrible. That is very true. What would you rather be, Dark Age Red Rising or Lonesome Dove? That's the question.
I haven't read Dark Age yet.
Oh, well,
I'm going to go ahead and say neither.
Basically, reading like any historical fiction makes you go like, man, I am like one of the luckiest people in the world to live among like antibiotics, air conditioning, heating in the winter.
I heard Pillars has a pretty exceptional villain as well.
Yeah, he's pretty despicable.
Which one has an exceptional
Pillars
villain?
of the Earth.
Oh, okay.
Pillars of the Earth has 2. There's a secular villain and then a villain from within the church. And the secular villain is almost like mustache twirling evil. But he's still good. But the guy within the church is really clever. Like he's a good bit of fun. Yeah.
Cunning.
Yeah.
Now, I guess you could call him a villain. Everybody, for the most part, is decently evil. Of Lonesome Dove, the one that you're kind of like exposed to in the latter half of the book, man, so
The worst one, the
yeah,
bad one.
yeah, he,
Oh,
ooh,
brutal.
yeah. Spoilers if I say anything else, so we're just gonna
No,
leave it
yeah,
there.
just move on.
Yeah, so that's my rant.
Every day I don't have to
I
roll out my dusty bed mat is a good day. Just wait till you read Blood Meridian. I've heard.
That's up next
I
month.
started it. I gotta finish it.
I'm sure Zachary Shea loves it. So
Anything Cormac.
anything
Shay's a big
Cormac,
fan.
Zach's just super in anything Cormac. All right, cool. So let us go now to our user question, and then we will jump back to the soapbox after we're done with that. So our user question of the
So
night.
much better.
Lonesome Glory. Did I just?
No, we're not gonna. I'm not pulling that up. Okay, I'll pull it up. Lonesome Glory Milking Cows by Chance Dillon. Dear God.
The dedication is
boy.
to Brian Bell. Without you, this wouldn't be.
Without you, this wouldn't be. Okay, so our user question of the night is just a little chat about the Sanderson news and Apple acquiring the rights to the entire Cosmere. Now, I know we probably all have a little bit of a different amount of time we've spent in the Cosmere, or like how invested we are in Sanderson. So if you're not super invested in Sanderson, maybe go the route of just talking about like what you want to see in adaptations, or maybe talk a little bit about who's next, like who you'd like to see kind of get propped up next. Because I feel like I'm seeing people talk about Sanderson, especially on like X and stuff, who aren't even fantasy readers. Like it's kind of taken that next step with this news. And so I think he's, going to be thrust into that George R. R. Martin level of popular people know about him too here soon, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm moderately invested in Sanderson. I've read the first 5 Stormlight. Every Sanderson fan is going to hate me now because I did not follow the rules at all. I haven't read none of the Mistborn books. I just read the first 5 Stormlight books in a row. So I know that's like not following the map that they give you on Reddit. But I think that this is super interesting. I think Apple's a great choice. That's where I want to start. I disagree with Hat, who just put out a short. I think that Hat is wrong. I think that Apple is a great choice because I think that Apple is the quality level and their ability to not just like put out as much as they can is pretty unrivaled in that space at this point. Like Netflix just throws 100 pieces of spaghetti at the wall and sees what sticks. And some stuff sticks for sure. But how much stuff doesn't stick or how much stuff gets pulled off the wall after a season. Whereas I think that Apple has showcased that like they're in it to put out quality. They tend to not take as long. That's the other thing is like, I'm so tired of like series taking 5 years in between seasons and the characters don't even look the right age anymore. I think Apple's doing a better job of that than especially Netflix. Don't even need to bring Amazon into the picture because they're just atrocious at adapting. And so I think this is the right choice. I do think that Apple has no clue what they're getting themselves into. I saw a funny meme that said it was a meme of Sanderson at the door of one of the Apple executives. He's like knocking on it. It's like a comic strip. And he knocks on it. They open the door and he's like, hey, last night I wrote a whole sideshow about this character who's like this little minor character. We've got to release it next year. And the Apple guy's just like, that's not how this works, And so I don't think they know what they're getting themselves into. But I think it's a great choice. I think that choosing to do Mistborn first obviously is smart. It'll be interesting to see if the movie medium fits and if live action is the best. I know some people have said they would have preferred to see it in more of like an anime or that kind of a style, in an animated style. So we'll see. I haven't read Mistborn, but I definitely think that doing Stormlight in a show format is the better choice for sure. So what do you guys think?
I can speak to the excitement around Milk of the Fallen. Around Milk of the Fallen. That's Apple TV. It just acquired.
Right in the middle. Right when you start.
Man, that's funny. No, I think him having creative control is massive. I think Apple's showing that they trust him as a creator, which is a big, big deal. Yeah. I have only read The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. That's it. I made a point when starting to write myself to sort of avoid all like the modern day popular-ish books, for the most part, which I think is opposed to the the traditional opinion. But yeah, I only read Way of Kings. Now I'm going to be in the camp of probably when these shows come out, I would not have read the series by the time it airs. More than likely, I don't know. That could totally change. I did enjoy Way of Kings thoroughly. I just never picked up the next book for no other reason than I think I just got into a bunch of other things that were required a lot of attention and dedication, like Malazan, cheese. And so I think I may end up watching before I end up reading. I think that's likely, and I wouldn't wait. I think I would just do it.
Yeah.
I think I would just do it. Sorry, reaching over the chat pod. Yeah, I think I would just do it.
I think I would just do it. I like that. Yeah, I think Pio makes a great point here too. Even if you're not a huge Sanderson fan, this is great for fantasy.
Oh yeah, massive.
And even if you're not, like, even if you don't think he landed Wind and Truth, which we all know how I feel about that, right? He deserves his flowers for this because, like, I mean, dude has put so much time and so much effort and so much energy, not just into his own books, but into the space, right? And I think that is not just commendable, but also, like, if anybody's going to get the opportunity to kind of break in, it makes sense that it's him,
100%.
Sam, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's pretty exciting. So I guess I don't know how many people. First, I don't know how many people on the stream like watch my stuff. I don't want to assume. But even if you do, well, I wasn't meaning you guys. I was meaning like the whoever's watching the stream like on replay. But even if you watch my stuff, like, I don't talk about Sanderson much at all, and that's because I read basically all my Sanderson stuff about 4 or 5 years ago, and at the time, I got pretty close to reading almost everything that he'd written. Maybe 2/3. I don't know. It was a lot though. It was Alcatraz. I read a bunch of. I read even like the Reckoners, the Rhythmatist, and then most of what was in the Cosmere up to that point. So I've read a lot of his stuff, and I have the worst Sanderson opinions. That's sort of what I came to because like Way of Kings is my favorite novel from him, but number 2 would be Elantris. I think Elantris is.
That's a hot take.
I don't get it. I think people are just repeating what they hear on the internet of like, well, it's not as good, because I think it is one of the few novels where he does something really outside of the mold from his other Cosmere books, which, like, I like that. That's really interesting. So, and then I also love Frugal Wizard. That's maybe my 3rd favorite from him. So
wait, hold on.
I have horrible Sanderson. I have horrible Sanderson opinions. Yeah. But as far as like how they adapt this, look, I haven't watched a ton from Apple TV, so I can't speak to the quality of their shows, but I don't see, like you said, the Netflix model of throw everything at the wall, see what sticks. Which that's good. And I have more trust in Sanderson having creative direction now than maybe I would have like 3 years ago, because I've heard him talk about Wheel of Time. I've heard him talk about Rings of Power. I've heard him talk about like, here's where these stories do it wrong. Here's very little fixes to like make this be improved like 80 times better. And it's like, oh, okay, so he's not just sticking to this being like, no, you have to do exactly what's in the book. Don't change a thing, because people will say that they will just follow the books. And it's like, it's an adaptation. It has to change by very nature of it being a different thing. So the fact that Sanderson is, CPL knows where it's at. Yeah, that's great. The fact that Sanderson is willing to change his stuff and is open to doing it, I think that bodes well for it. And yeah, like you were saying, Dustin, I heard like film bros that I listen to on YouTube who have never, like, they've read 10 books in their life, talking about like, this is gigantic news, this is unprecedented in movie and TV history. So yeah, I don't know. I don't obviously I don't know how good or bad it'll be, but I'm pretty optimistic right now, even for not being the biggest Sanderson nut out there. And I never finished Stormlight because I burned out on his stuff before I finished it. And this has been the closest I've gotten to getting the itch again, to being like, maybe I should pick up Oathbringer. I don't know. So, when do you guys think we would see the first like project from him?
Oh gosh,
They
it's
said
going to be
Mistborn
Mistborn
first,
first.
I think,
Mistborn's
right?
first.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they haven't put out any timeline. I know he did say he's going to try to lock in hard on that first project getting out. So 29?
And a
If I had
bunch
to
of people
guess,
have said,
right?
yeah,
That's
sorry,
a
just
real year?
one other thought was
Mhm.
like a bunch of people have been like, oh, but if he's focusing on TV, then he'll just join to the George Martin camp and never write books again. And it's like, look, you guys have been complaining and whining that he's been putting
Yeah.
out books too fast for years. So I don't want to hear any whining that he's not going to be putting them out fast enough. Like, no, it's if he's exercising his creative muscles in a different way, maybe that means, you know, like more energy in the books or
Yep.
letting the editors take more control over this or that.
Yes,
So,
that's what we need.
I don't know.
We need editors taking control. That's
They
what
love
we
that.
need. Because no, I refuse to believe that When in Truth was edited that hard. So maybe he can write a book and then he can run it and go do the show stuff while his editors actually edit the
Well,
book.
Dustin, we'll talk offline, but I have tea about this.
Oh, we have tea about
So-
this? I mean, my
Oh.
my conspiracy theory is just that like everyone loves him so much that his editors just can't tell him things are bad. But
That's probably close to it.
yeah, like I don't think it's his fault. I don't think it's their fault. I just think like he's probably just such an awesome person that they don't want to be like, hey, that joke sucked. Take it out.
Or maybe at a certain point, it's just like, yeah, I mean, he's Brandon Sanderson.
Yeah, right.
Like,
That's
you know,
probably
maybe I should
fair.
stop trying. It's like someone like a famous musician before they're famous tell like, hey, what do you think of this song? And you're like, yeah, it's all right. And then it's like, you know, the greatest song of all time.
That's fair. That's fair. Now, Stephanie, I saw your face light up when this got posted up here.
Oh,
Oh,
I know it's gonna be.
like the one thing I can contribute to this.
Oh no. I want
Oh.
to hear it. I want to hear it. Do you think this is
There
fair?
we go. That's a good.
Yeah, well, they started to. Hulu
Okay.
had gotten the rights to do Akatar, and I think that was scrapped last year. It was like, are they, aren't they? Are they, aren't they? And then they decided not to do it. But that's not the series I would like to see. I mean, that wasn't my favorite one of hers. I mean, Throne of Glass for me is like
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
People
above
love Throne of Glass.
Akatar for sure.
Hmm.
So I
Maybe
would,
me next
I
week.
would love to see it. Yeah, that's
This-
Jay's gonna jump into that universe this
I'm
year.
intent on
but-
doing that at some point. I can't say when.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I've
but
heard.
like
I've heard
it
that
would be good to
series.
see it.
I've heard that series touted as one of the ones that suffers from being associated with her more fantasy romance stuff. That it's more real fantasy.
Right.
I
would agree.
remember
Like
back when
straight
Throne of
fantasy.
Glass was coming out, and it was being marketed as for fans of Mistborn. Like Romancy
Yeah.
was not a label, Book Talk was not a thing, and it was being
Wow.
pushed to like the Sanderson crowd, to people who like
Yeah,
Hunger
the
Games.
covers
and not,
definitely look
you know.
more that.
Yeah,
way.
it's definitely a lot more, I think, high fantasy than, I mean, Akatar is a lot of world building, but this one, I mean, there's definitely a lot less spice. There's things that happen, but it's definitely not the main point of any of the stories. It's like third thing down on the list with what's going on. So
John Gwynn.
John Gwynn would be a good film. Just put
Mhm.
Bloodsworn feels like it would be. I have an interesting thought, and this is something that I may be completely wrong on.
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
just throwing stuff at the wall like Netflix here. I think one of the reasons why Game of Thrones was accepted by the masses is that the high fantasy magic side of things is very diluted in that series in comparison to some other series like even Sanderson, right? Where it's like magic stuff happens, but most of the time it is politics, it is like character work, it is all the battles for the most part until the dragons, right, and stuff is like swords and death and
Yeah.
assassins, right? And so like I think that the normie, I hate to use the word normie, right, can handle the fantasy when it's just a little more subdued. I'll be interested to see how it lands when it's like front and center. And for Sanderson, it's very front and center. And it's not historical feeling at all. I think the fantasy that's survived more in the public space feels a little bit more historical, a little bit more like just based on like colonial England or those like the European setting. And so this is not that, right? And plus, like Stormlight, the characters are going to be Asian. Like it's different, and I think it'll be interesting to see kind of how that lands. Sam, you had raised your hand. You
Well, so here's to the counterpoint to that, because
Okay.
I've heard that argument made about Game of Thrones. To the counterpoint, I'd raise you like Star Wars, which is
Yeah, I
about
was
space
thinking about Star
wizards,
Wars too.
and Harry
Yeah.
Potter, which
Yeah,
is
Harry
way
Potter.
more
Yeah.
magical than even
Well,
like
and
Lord of the Rings. So
my counterpoint to your counterpoint would be
Yes, please go.
Harry Potter. Harry Potter, you know, for a younger crowd for the most part, right? It's mostly nostalgia if you're older, which is fine. And then Star Wars is packaged in science fiction so much that I think people don't really notice it. And it's not that I don't think it will be successful, right? It's just that I think that more people clung to Game of Thrones because it, in a lot of ways, it feels like a historic fiction story, right? Like a big historic fiction story that occasionally has some big magical elements to it.
All right.
Yeah, I guess you could say Lord of the Rings, but even that, a lot of times, outside of the fantastical characters, doesn't have like a hard magic system that is like front and center of the story.
So by that logic, Rings of Power should have been a great success.
Oh, sorry. I just
Well, like,
a little bit.
probably the closest that you get to something Sanderson-esque in recent time is like Wheel of Time, which I only watched season 1, and they didn't execute the magic very well in season 1 from what it is in the books, but it gets very like hand wavy as stuff happened, you know, and like you don't understand like, okay, but there's reasons why they're able to do this and not that, you know, which is more explained in the book. So I do take your point that there's going to be a challenge there in adapting that.
Yeah, and again, that's not saying it won't be like beloved. I just think the most massive audience is probably gonna prefer the hard fantasy stuff to be a little more subdued. And I think it actually works for a story like A Song of Ice and Fire when the magic is rare enough that when it shows up on the screen, it's like super impactful, right? Oh crap, there's a dragon. You know, like, or the why am I blanking on the name of the ice people from up north? The monsters.
What, the White Walkers?
The White Walkers, right? Like when they showed up, it felt different because most of the time it was like normal life, right? People died because you stabbed them in the gut and you bled out, right? And then randomly you'd get a dragon or you'd get a this or, you know. And so I think that is impactful, like especially in a TV show. And it'll be interesting to see if it's front and center, which especially Stormlight, it's front and center, how that would be taken.
Yeah, it's how they can execute on suspension of disbelief. Like, how can they take a bunch of scenes in like early Mistborn if they're doing live action? Can they ground you like sort of like Harry Potter does? It grounds you in the real world. Can it ground you there and then take you on the journey of like, here's all the things that are fantastical, and you build suspension of disbelief by presenting it in a way that feels as close as that world can to our world. And then once our brains like latch onto that, then like they could throw magic at us like they did in Game of Thrones, like you said, and we're just like already on board, you know? So I think they can do that I haven't read Mistborn, but like thinking about Way of Kings, even if you start out the way that they did in that book, you could probably ground in film in some way, just very creatively through that POV.
Yeah. That is fair. This is an interesting one. HBO would love to get their hands on Empire of the Vampire.
Oh my god, I don't know why they haven't.
That's the other reason I'm glad like HBO or Showtime didn't get Sanderson, because I think they would have probably like tried to sexify it a little bit. It's just, I mean, like what HBO or Showtime show have you watched that doesn't have that? That's just, I mean, and Sanderson's probably not interested in that at all. No. So I don't think that would have been a good fit, you know.
I wonder if he even approached them.
I don't know.
What is Wheel of Time on?
Prime.
Prime. I was gonna say that's probably more comparable to.
Yeah, but that was just a bad
and Game of Thrones, and
from what I've heard. Any other series you guys think like this? I think got a
First Law.
Yeah, for stuff that's not like
take a chance.
Yeah,
take my answer.
I'd say Lonesome Dove, but
First Law grabs exactly what I was saying with A Song of Ice and Fire, though, right? Like, you almost forget that it's a fantasy sometimes.
Yeah, First Law would be great. Obviously, Red Rising would be great. Yeah. Sun Eater, give me some Sun Eater. Heck, give me Book of the New Sun. Seriously, I think a Book of the New Sun adaptation would be
You know
gnarly.
how confusing a Book of the New Sun adaptation would be.
It wouldn't be confusing at all because you're seeing it.
It's not as hard as you'd think if you do it
But-
straightforward.
But
and
then
like,
would it be the same?
no, it'd be adapted.
You'd have to. If you were to adapt it, you would have to turn the entire concept that is the Book of the New Sun sort of on its head a little bit to adapt it, to make it work. You'd have to inverse the expectation. In that you'd have to present probably sci-fi, in actuality like show fantasy. Over time. I don't know. It'd be like an inverse sort of situation.
Yeah.
There's
Steph,
this,
what do you think, Stephanie? What else?
forget you,
What
Sam.
else? What else?
No, I was reading the comments. Actually, I
know it's very hard.
I was reading the
It's weird
comments,
to
and I
me.
had seen Carly mentioned that she didn't like the first Throne of Glass book, but I was wondering which one she read first, because I know there's like people like saying you should read that in a certain order. So I was wondering which one she read first that she didn't.
We'll wait for it to
like.
pop up. Here.
Gentlemen Bastards is another really good one here that Riggs mentioned. Sam, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, because Chance was talking about adapting Book of the New Sun. There's like this conspiracy theory that I have that like either Christopher or Jonathan Nolan either have read Wolf or have people whispering Wolf's sorceries into the back of their
I could
head.
see that.
Because
Yeah.
there's especially if you look at outside of just New Sun, there's some really eerie things that they do, like exactly the same concept but in a different setting in a couple of like Chris Nolan's movies.
I'd be shocked.
And it may be that they just both like both Nolan and Wolf like Borges, whatever his name is. And so there's overlap there, but it's like, Nolan would be a great pick for doing it.
Yeah, I saw someone say CR would need full control of
Rockio,
of Sun Eater, and I agree because I told them to get me a Hadrian Marlowe audition.
That's right.
I'm in. Dude.
It's like, please.
No, I nominate Chance to play Alexander.
Oh,
dude, I'd kill it
do our
as
boy like
Alexander.
that.
All right, I don't care. I would kill it. Would I prefer
comment.
Hadrian Marlowe? Yeah.
No
I
comment.
probably can't play Visander.
I like-
be that badass.
I like this one here. Do Dresden well this time.
Yeah.
Dresden would be such an easy series to adapt.
Yeah.
Like it already has the Monster of the Week feel. You've got like a season at a time just locked into each book. Supernatural already proved that you can do it for 15 seasons and people will still watch even if 4 of them suck. Like, I mean, it's made for that. I think that's an easy one. Dungeon Crawler Carl would be
I think
nuts.
that's happening.
Yes, that one's definitely
Yeah.
happening. It's definitely happening. All right.
so
Well,
epic.
anything else we want to add to the discussion about Sanderson or adaptations or anything like that?
I think there's one big adaptation, and it's because there's a big asterisk by it. But I think there's one that's pretty obvious, and it's almost happened a couple of times, and that is King Killer.
Oh,
And I think, and everyone's going, oh, would he's never get figured? Like, okay, fine, go, like rant on Twitter about it again. Fine. Like, I get it, guys, but I think that those books obviously have the sales numbers to back up that this would be a good idea. But then I also just think, like, the overlap of what he borrows from A Wizard of Earthsea and that being vaguely similar to some of the stuff in Harry Potter would have more of a general appeal while having, still the epic fantasy setting and the fantasy school stuff. So, yeah.
I think they should do that just so it can be great, and then everyone who's a hater can cope.
That's right.
Well, it would have the same A Song of Ice and Fire issue where it would probably get past the where the books are out, so
Yeah, but somebody's got to finish it.
I was gonna say at least you'll get an ending.
That's what we need to know. We need to know who would finish that series if it never gets done. And I don't know what the answer to that would be. Because it would have to be somebody who writes pretty. I think the way Game of Thrones endings hurts the chance of King Killer ever getting done.
Such a good point.
True.
I will. If that should be my next soapbox, because I will talk about how I saw reports of HBO offering the boys a bunch of money, and then a Star Wars project and all this stuff, and it just like again,
the Civil War project.
Yeah, right. And it's just like, I don't know. You had such an opportunity and you just wanted to. It felt like get it over with.
Yeah. If you've never watched the pitch meeting for season 8, you
I
guys
did.
know what pitch
I
meetings
have.
are? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
It
hey man,
felt like-
we'll give you 12 episodes. No. I just want 8. Just want 8.
It felt like somehow Palpatine's alive. That's how it felt.
Yeah. It makes me not want to read. I know everyone loved David Benioff's book.
It's
Like,
great.
I still think I'm gonna try and read.
I just makes me want to not read it just because he did that.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so insulting is you read the book and it's like, wow, you're like a fantastic storyteller. Like you have great dialogue, you know how to pace things out well, and yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't. This comment. Ralphus is foaming at the mouth for another opportunity to take advantage of his fan base.
Wow.
Oh boy. Riggs has some opinions on that for sure.
Riggs does. Yeah.
Riggs does. All right. Well, I think we have successfully answered that user question. I'm excited to see what Sanderson does with the adaptations, and hopefully, 2028, 2029 probably would be when we see the first.
Early 28 would be my guess.
Which
Give me some time to read some books.
feels like forever.
He said he's doing 6 months of the Mistborn screenplay, right?
Okay, yeah, I think that's what he said. It's about 6
And
months.
then turnaround approvals, budgets,
Yeah, get Chance Dillon out for
whatever. Just
You'd
one
make
of
a
the,
good
one of the
Kelsier.
characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. Sure.
I still can't. It still blows my mind that you were in
Marty Supreme.
Marty Supreme.
4 seconds of screen time.
4
and Marty-
seconds of screen time. Marty Supreme.
and you wouldn't even know it.
So Chance, at the next Sun Eater Gala, I'm gonna bring a Blu-ray of Marty Supreme and have you
I'll
sign
point.
it and then just lock it off on eBay.
We got to put it on the slideshow and pause it where I'm at.
I love it, dude.
This is the most anticlimactic
This-
thing that
this-
people have built up.
This isn't a movie podcast, but that genuinely, I still think about that movie every day.
It's a good
Yeah,
movie.
It was that good.
It is a
Chance
good
has done it.
movie.
Wow.
Yes.
It was that good. I'm set up this week to finally watch The Life of Chuck, which I've heard some people have said is the best Stephen King adaptation ever made. Which that's a high bar.
Whoa.
It's a very high bar. But I had that told to me by multiple people, and it's now on Disney Plus. So watching it this week, Life of Chuck. So I don't know if you can beat The Green Mile or Stand by Me.
Yeah, he said like top 5 because there is a big drop off once I feel like
Hey,
after the first
my
couple
my
ones.
hot take on Stephen King adaptations. You ready for this?
Go ahead.
Secret Window is actually a fantastic movie. If you've not seen Secret Window, it was dogged when it came out. It's Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
It is brilliant. I don't know why anyone doesn't like it, but it's one of those movies that's trash and I don't get it. But it is a really high bar. All right, it is time to head back to the soapbox. No, it's okay. You're off. I promise. You're off. I'm not gonna make you go next. I will volunteer, and I will go next. How's that sound? All right.
Perfect.
So my turn for the soapbox. You guys ready for this? I'm going to rant about something that I've already made a video on, but I'm gonna go in even tighter on the topic of AI and books. Part of the video that I put out on AI and books talked about creating a culture of pessimism. And so I was on X the other day, and I saw someone retweet a new cover from a pretty popular author that writes, and we don't need to go into names here, but he writes horror books for middle schoolers. You guys probably all now know exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah.
And he put out a new cover, and it looks super AI. There's some things that just like clearly stand out as like, that's a weird way to do that. And the comments are just thousands of people arguing about whether or not it's AI. Some people like making super bold claims about it being AI. Some people are making super bold claims about it not being AI. No one knows what they're actually talking about. People are running it through AI to see if it's AI, and the AI is telling them it is and isn't. And it was just like the quote tweets were through the charts of people just like making these super bold claims. And it devolved into this entire conversation where like the artist got dragged in and he's trying to answer. It reminded me of the Game of Thrones special edition artwork issue that happened a couple months ago, where the artist is literally like, this isn't AI. And people were like, yes, it is. And like, it may have been, it may have not, but like all it did was create chaos. Right. And I just think that it's just this perfect storm, right, of something that people have strong opinions about, AI, and art that people have strong opinions about in general, where what I don't want to see happen is people become so worried about the entry of AI into this space, which it doesn't belong in this space, but it's happening, that everything just becomes pessimism, right? And every line we read in a book might be AI, and that art might be AI, and this cover might be AI, and I don't know what is and isn't AI. I mean, we're currently like dealing with this a little bit just in like how we approach some obviously AI covers in the SPFBO this year, because it's technically not against the rules to have an AI cover. You can't have AI writing, but you can have an AI cover. And so like, do we, if the best book of our batch is an AI cover, what do we do? Like those kind of questions. And then that just devolves into like, well, what is and what isn't an AI cover, and how the heck do we figure that out? And so my rant is basically just like, I'm already exhausted by seeing the pessimism and that's created by just the potential presence of something like this in our space. And I got some pushback on my video. It's the least watched video I've ever put out, by the way. That's great. Had a blast doing it, but apparently no one cared.
That's important. You gotta have a blast.
I did have a blast, and some video has to be 10 out of 10, right?
It is a 10 out of 10.
No, I mean like 10th out of 10 in views. And so like I got some pushback. Someone called me a Luddite. Do you guys know what a Luddite is?
You're gonna have to.
Somebody
have to
who
shoot.
irrationally hates technology.
Oh,
It's kind of a reference to a historical situation.
Okay.
Basically like an irrational fear of progress. Technology.
Someone from Lud.
Yeah. And so like, and I thought that I was very nuanced and fair in the video, so to get that was kind of wild. But like I got some pushback from some like people who claim to be authors who, like, well, I just use generative AI to do this, and that's fine, and this isn't. And it's like, who gets to decide where those lines are? And that's only going to create more problem, right? When everybody and their mom is like deciding which is what is too much generative AI. Can I just use it in this space? Can I just use it in this space? Can I just use it in that space? Especially when that's assuming it's even disclosed, right? And like we all know that like a lot of people are just not going to disclose their use of it, and that's just going to create this culture of pessimism that is super dangerous, but also it's necessary, because if we all just put our heads in the sand, then it's going to be used more and more and more, right? And so like that's my rant, is just this feeling of almost like exhaustion at the idea of like we have to be on the lookout and like protecting, I think, this space in a way. But at the same time, how do we do that without creating just this like rampant culture of like pointing fingers all the time and pessimism?
Yeah. Witch hunt. Yeah. AI witch hunt.
Yeah. I think when it comes to something like a cover for SPFBO, I mean, I obviously am in the camp that I think indie books should be held to the same standard that trad books are, if not higher. I think when it comes to a contest like that, and you have people who just maybe aren't, they're not on YouTube, they're not on Reddit, they're not on Twitter, they're not on Instagram, they're not seeing the discourse around artificial intelligence, and then they decide they want to write a book. As long as they're not using generative AI in the book, because that's obviously a rule of the contest. And I think generally, like, again, they could technically do whatever they want. It's just a matter of people are going to buy it, review it, whatever, at the end of the day. And, obviously, if you do that and you are not transparent about it and you're trying, usually people can sniff it out because we have a part in our brains that just like sees something. But I think to your point, it is very annoying that we're unable to just like create, and now we have it's a major inconvenience and somewhat of a minor inconvenience as well, to have this thing that exists that can technically create from a mush of cocktail of information that it's established over however long. That's annoying, and unfortunately it's a reality. I think when it comes to someone in the writing space, you just write and you don't worry about it. If there's a mass group of people that want to buy something that's AI, like at the end of the day, what if we don't know? What if it gets that good that we just don't know? And I'm sure that day is going to come. That day is going to come, unfortunately. So how to prevent that? I'm not sure. I don't know if you can. I think that it would be beneficial to. And speaking back to the contest that is SPFBO, again, if you have someone who's just not aware, okay, it's like, hey, we read your book. Maybe we really, really, really liked it. Just so you're aware, we're clocking that the cover was AI. Maybe that's something that you can change or fix.
Yeah.
And they have an opportunity to be like, oh crap, I didn't know, it's like, okay, fine, totally. If that's the case, then, as long as you're authentic about it and then that's real, and I think to go on a witch hunt against something that is still a good story, hopefully not told by generative AI, which is another thing. It's like, okay, if you use it for that, how do we know that you didn't use it for the other thing?
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to hide that. So I think that's why it's important to have like a good cover artist, make sure their name is attached to it, and just go from there. Hold yourself to a high standard. Even if the publishing industry decides that they're going to start using AI more, which I think is a conversation, especially I know in the audiobook space, it's a conversation. Mass, like us in our corner, aren't going to do anything, right. Unfortunately, it's going to happen. And that is scary. And I hope it doesn't, because then you have this entire sect of people who are looking to create and starving and hungry to be a part of the creative process. People like voice actors who just like can change a story and make it so much more deliverable. You lose that. And I think that's why it's so important that we hold on to it and, speak with your wallet when it comes to something like AI created art. Just don't give it attention.
Yeah. And I think that's the interesting thing too, is like, it gets more complicated. I saw a story last week. It had been posted in the SBFBO Discord, and it wasn't an SBFBO book, but it was a decently popular book that had been going around on Instagram and stuff, and it was getting a special edition, and everyone was like, the Kickstarter got dropped, and everyone was like, that's an AI cover. And they hit up the author and were like, dude, that's an AI cover. And he didn't know. He paid for an artist to do the cover.
Yep.
And it wasn't fully AI. It was like bits and pieces.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like, he was just like, he probably should have noticed, to be honest. But like the immediate reaction was he purposefully got an AI cover. And he's like, no, here's my receipt. Like, I paid an artist for this.
Wow.
And then he went to the artist and was like, hey, dude, is this AI? And the guy was like, yeah.
Oh God.
Just part of it,
That's so crazy.
And so it's like that adds a layer where, like, you talk about this idea of witch hunting, like some people may not even know.
Yeah.
They might have paid somebody $100 on Fiverr and just thought that they were getting a cover, and so like, I think that, that's why I mentioned in the video, like, that's why be in community with other authors, like you said, where you can be like, hey man, I like your cover. Where'd you get it? Or do you have any like artists you trust? Here's my budget. What route should I take?
Yeah.
And like, that's where I hope like the writer section in Bookstreet Boys is a good place for stuff like that to happen. Because you need that in this space. So you don't go to Fiverr and pay some random dude to just generate something and you get it, smoked for it.
Yeah.
But like on the SBFBO stuff, I know it's been mentioned like, hey, technically we can't change the rules, but like, if a story is great and it's got a chance to go deep in the contest, I just don't see a realistic situation where those judges pick something that's obviously has an AI cover, because like it's going to be promoted everywhere. Do you go to that author and go, hey, like, you made the top 20, I need you to make a new cover before we get to the top 10, right? Like, you should probably turn in a new cover. So that, because I just don't see them putting through, if you have two books that are about the same and one's an AI cover and one's not.
Sorry, I was just going to say, this is the problem with witch hunts, right? Is that there's no path forward for like redemption or for forgiveness, or how do you come to the other side of it? Because I know of people where it's like, maybe AI was used for part of a cover, and then they're like, oh, I want it updated. And I know people where they'll still get blasted of like, well, but the old version, it's like, well, okay, but I paid an artist and I got an update and here's the new version. It's like, well, but 5 years ago or however long. And it's like, okay, so like, what's the path of like, well, now everything that you ever do is horrible because we all decided collectively that using this one part of a tool, we probably shouldn't be doing that because it makes people lose their jobs, and so that's the thing that I don't love the witch hunt part of it, and I certainly don't love cheating people out of valid work or the use of AI for covers. Like I get all of that, but I think there's and it's the internet, so of course there's not people being gracious or nuanced about it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's the main thing that I like, is like there's people behind this who actually like really cared about, you know, what they did. And what you said, Preacher, about people who have no idea, is like, yeah, I've met several authors who have had that happen to them, and it's like, is that their fault, like that they didn't catch it? I mean, I guess maybe, but I don't know. Like I kind of we know. So
and I tried to bring that up in my video. Like, hey, like my first logo for this channel was AI, and I changed my view on a very complicated new topic and thing that I'm working through. Right, like I was my hope in that video was not to be like, this is the stance, and if you've ever not had this stance, you're dead. Right, but that's how the internet works. You know, like the goal was to be like, hey, like we just took stickers down from the Bookstreet Boys like Discord that were AI generated, because like this is where we are now, and like I hope after watching this video that you see where we're coming from on that. But like this is a new, confusing and complicated topic that does deserve like some grace and some nuance.
Sure.
You know, but I do think that like the baseline argument that all technology is good, and to say no to any technology as progress is like you're a Luddite, is like, it's bad logic to start, right?
Yeah.
You know, but I also think that it's difficult for people who don't want to think deeply about it to really grasp like this concept of like there's just something human about art that is different from things that aren't art. And like that's hard to even put into words sometimes, but we just kind of all, I think, feel it. You know, I was having this conversation with a buddy recently, because we were talking about like what constitutes art in this space, right? You know, there's some assistive AI tools that like take out background noise from audio clips. Maybe my audio engineer buddy thinks that that's art, right? Because like he loves to hop into his audio engineering software and like go to work, and that's his expression. Is that art? Some people would say no. Some people would say yes. Like, who decides what is and what is not an artistic endeavor versus just like grunt work? Because I've heard people say that, right? Like, it's good. AI is fine if it's just doing stuff that's like, just it helps speed up the time, but it's not art. Well, who defines that?
Right. So many blurry lines.
Right. Who even decides that this is art and that is not art? And you know, like I'm still working through that, because like, I mean, the audio software that I edit with, like some of those tools are called AI tools. And I talk about in the video, many of those things aren't even really AI. They just use that like language because they makes them look progressive and makes them look like they've moved forward in the software. Right. And so like for the average person, they're all just swimming in complicated at this point. We have to have grace for that, you know?
When PL is right here, when he says it's too late to put the genie back in the bottle. And I actually, like, I seriously, like, I pre-recorded this video a while ago, so it wasn't like I was trying to be like, oh, relevant topic. But just so you know, I'm not a bandwagoner, guys. It's very important for my own image.
He literally is saying he filmed it before, but he's filming it after.
But I put out a video to plug my own stuff about the way Christopher Rocchio represents AI in Sun Eater, and like why it's so often there's a couple of main symbolic links that he makes with it, but one of the main ones being like Lovecraftian. And anyway, you'll have to I won't give you the full 20-minute spiel as to why I think that is, but it's exactly what PL said. If you were to summarize it, it's the genie that's out of the bottle. It's the unstoppable force that there's nothing any of us like on the stream can do to stop it. Like the world has changed. There's nothing you can do about it.
That's what you think.
Except for
Hadrian Marlowe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that like what we can do, like Chan said, right, is like maybe speak with our wallets enough in this corner of the book space to at least deter self-published authors from it. And you know, like people who are impressionable and actually care what we think, right? Do I think Penguin Random House cares what I think about AI artwork? No,
they care about
bottom
line.
Right? Does that like self-pub author with a really good first work who just assumed he needed to use AI because like that's how you get a good cover if you don't have $1,000? Does he care? And maybe this pushes him to hop into the Discord and ask JCM Byrne where he got his covers from instead of using AI, and then that book becomes more readable in this space, and he listened. Like if that's something we can do, then I think that's a good start, right?
Yeah, I've been messaged.
Pop the
before.
bubble here, maybe. You're not going to pop the bubble in general, but maybe we can at least pop the bubble in a corner.
That's valid. Yeah.
I think having the conversation too is the most important thing. This isn't the only space that, they're having the AI conversation. It's happening. I mean, I work in the finance industry and we are having that conversation daily. So I think the important part of even having that conversation and continuing to have it, I mean, this is a hot topic because it's new too. So everybody loves to point a finger and have an opinion because it's one of those things where it's a gray area. You don't know what you don't know yet as far as AI is concerned.
We're all learning and it's evolving, and we're trying to just work our way through it.
100%. And this is not a one-to-one comparison, but it almost reminds me of we went to New York this past winter, and driving back through, we had to get gas in Jersey. And I didn't know that in Jersey, people still pump your gas.
Yeah,
baby.
Right. And so I Googled it and read, basically read that like when most states were moving to like automated pumps and stuff, Jersey said like, we want to keep these jobs. Right. And like, is that the most efficient or like the best use of their money? Like from a bottom line standpoint, like probably not. Right. I would assume most states went the other direction because like at the end of the day, you don't have to pay a person to do that. But at the same time, in a similar way, beyond just the creativity discussion is the discussion of like, how seriously do we as humans take providing something that makes us human, which I think work makes us, it's part of what it means to be human, right? Is to put our energy into making something or being something or accomplishing something. Like how vehemently do we protect that and to what level? That's like a whole nother conversation for a whole nother podcast. But I think we're all in agreement though on like this idea of like having a healthy level of pessimism so that we can protect the space without being witch hunters or everything we see just becomes, I think that's AI because this leg is a little this and AI is only going to get better, so it's only going to get worse in terms of our like guesswork, right?
Yep. It's freaky.
It's the worst. It's the worst it is today, right? Is what people say about it. So that is my soapbox.
I need to fill my water up. Give me 1 second.
Hey, you should fill your water up.
My water up.
Your water bottle up. He had to cut off his camera for that. Wow.
He's super hydrated. I think I've seen him drinking.
Very hydrated.
4
guy.
different drinks since we've been on this.
very
on chance.
Guy. Right.
What is he filling the water bottle of?
It's time for the Wolf's Powers cult leader to rant about some 90s fantasy / sci-fi novel. Which one is it going to be tonight?
That's right. So actually I meant to say this when we were talking about what's going to be the next big thing. It's actually going to be Tim Powers.
Yes!
He's going to finally break out and get a movie that's not Pirates of the Caribbean.
Do you think Tim knows you're his biggest fan?
Oh, I don't know that I'm his biggest fan, but I don't know. Stay tuned. We'll see.
I'm going to email him.
Yeah, we'll see. So as far as the soapbox thing, I was thinking because I'm like, man, there's lots of like mini rants that I could go on. There's lots of like little things that I could talk about, but here's eventually what I ended up on because I think it's pertinent to this corner of BookTube, and I hear things about this get repeated a lot, which is I think that more people, at least in this circle of BookTube, need to embrace and be okay with rereading things more. Because there's a number of yes, Topher, I would be here for that too. But there's a number of prominent booktubers that I listen to who will say things like, I know of a few who have said they've never reread a book, and I know of many who say, well, why would I reread a book when my TBR is, ever infinitely long? And like, yeah, I guess that's a problem that we all have, but there's a few reasons why I will like advocate for this. So well, I don't know. I'll pick on you for a second, Dustin. So about how many books did you read last year?
69.
Okay.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Fine, we won't say it. That's awesome.
So, out of those 69 books that you read, I guess that's better than 7 books. Out of the 69 books that you read, like how many of them would you say are like a better book or you liked more than Boy's Life?
0.
Yeah. Exactly. So, and I could go through that with like, you know, if I had like a ranking of like, you know, my favorite book, you know, or whatever, I could do this with a lot of people of like, if you know that you love this book, if you know that this book is a favorite, and when people are like, oh, but my TBR is ever infinite, how will I get to all these books? It's like, okay, well, let's take like The Lord of the Rings for me is like my second favorite book of all time. I have a ton of books that are on my TBR as well, but I know that the odds of The Tyranny of Faith by Richard Swan beating The Lord of the Rings, or me having a better time reading it than if I just reread The Lord of the Rings, is like minuscule. Now, does that mean I shouldn't read something new? No, because I love the thrill of something new, reading something that I haven't before. But especially people will be like, oh, I'm feeling burnout. Oh, you know, nothing's quite hitting. It's like you have a list of things that you know are amazing and really do it for you. So especially if you're needing a palate cleanser, like yeah, if you want to read new stuff, go ahead. That's what literally everybody does. But I think there's a lot of value in going back to the old ones. And so here's a few more bullet points about it. The book obviously stays the same unless it's a book written by George Lucas and he's editing it again. So the books stay the same, but you as a person change. And so, you know, I remember like books that I read when I was a teenager, like rereading them now hit different. I notice things differently. Maybe relating more to a younger character and seeing things from an older character's point of view, or being like, oh, that boy that I used to relate with, what an idiot, you know, like you as a person change. And so your reading experience changes. Like the book itself isn't different, but you are. And so there's value in that. Obviously you will see more, like you'll notice details more on a reread, but also it'll help you be a better reader if you go back to books multiple times and reread them. One of the reasons for that is also it helps you learn to read, to be a better reader and not just read for like, well, what's happening next? And the only thing that keeps me turning the page is I've got to know what happens next. And that's an okay motivation, but like there's a value in having motivation to read a book beyond just that. You know, I've heard people who've talked about, well, I know the history behind this thing, so why would I read a historical fiction book about it? It's like, well, that's not the point. Like, yes, if like spoiler alert, like William Wallace is executed by the British, but guess what? Like Braveheart is still an awesome movie, even if you know that. We already talked about palate cleansers, and and this is the last thing that I'll say is that sometimes you can read books just at the wrong time, right? So one of my favorite Tim Powers books, and we've been talking about this in the Discord recently, is On Stranger Tides. It's his pirate novel. But I first picked up that book. That was like the second book from him that I picked up and read about half of it. And it was at a funky time. There was some weird stuff going on in my life. I read about half of it. I'm like, this is not clicking with me at all. And so I put it down and then came back to it like another 6 months later and was like, oh, this is awesome. And it's one of the books that I recommend people starting with Powers, you know, the most. But anyway, I think that people overestimate just how good the thrill of the next thing will be. And yeah, maybe you'll find your next favorite, but maybe you'll read something that's like dog water too. So having that as like, you know, and people have talked about this of, you know, okay, I have like Dune, Lord of the Rings, you know, Jenny Wirtz, these books that I return to maybe 1 or 2 a year. It doesn't need to be half of your TBR is just rereads, but I think setting aside chunks of time every couple of months to go back to an old favorite, I think there's a lot of value in that. And usually on rereads, you go through it faster anyway. So yeah, there you go. Thus endeth the speech.
That was fantastic.
Excellent soapbox.
That was great.
I've recently enjoyed rereading more. I think I'm definitely going to continue to try to push that. Boy's Life I've read a couple times. Harry Potter, obviously a couple times. Started rereading Cirque du Freak last year. Pure Nessie I've read twice. But I agree with you, man. Like I think there's something to be said about digging in deeper, especially to stuff that's like, I don't want to say a little bit more literary fiction, but like I see myself rereading Demon Copperhead in the next couple of years, right? Because I do, like you said, it's going to be less about what happens next and more about soaking in the themes and soaking in the actual like prose and engaging deeper with what's happening than just what happens next. Sometimes though, man, I don't know if you've gone back and reread like something you read when you were a kid, and it's been like it kind of like hurts your soul a little bit. The first couple Cirque du Freak books are rough. Like the prose is so bad. I was like, how did I?
Should just
Even
left it
like
alone.
comparative because like I was reading the first Harry Potter to my daughter the same time I was rereading Cirque du Freak. And so like I could compare those two proses, and they're like makes the first Harry Potter look like the most awesome literary fiction you've ever read in your life. You know, so sometimes it can go bad. But I also agree with you too on like the timing thing. I soft DNF'd a book that's in my top 10. And then I went back to it and reread it, and that was Something Wicked This Way Comes. I was just not in a space to like handle that prose. Whenever the first time I tried to read it, my grandma actually bought it for me. I tried to read it and was like, this sucks. It's boring. This feels like something I should have read in high school. And then like 2 years later, I picked it back up and it's in my top 10. You know, and all that really changed was like I grew a little bit as a reader, but also like I was just in a place where like that prose was doable for me, you know? And so, I mean, you might even find going back and rereading something you thought was great that it's even better than great if it's just in a better moment. But totally agreed.
Yeah.
What do you guys
Nailed it.
think?
Yep.
Oh, he nailed it. So
For
many,
sure.
yeah,
100%.
so many good thoughts on that one. I definitely like what you just talked about with being at a different place in your life where you might be feeling, you know, a certain way. You might be like if you're down, you might not necessarily want to read Demon Copperhead or
Right.
something that's really gonna, you know, drive that home. Or maybe you do. Maybe that's a way. You know, it's just all up to individually. And I feel like there's different seasons in life that you can pick up a book and love it one day and not like it the next. So yeah. Well done.
I've been intent on rereading Book of the New Sun, Ted Williams, the first 3 books, Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn. I've been intent on it, but I haven't yet come to it, if that makes any sense. So my effort isn't there, but my desire is. So I agree. I think books should be reread. Like I think about my favorite movies and TV shows. Like I've seen Vikings 3 times through. I've seen Peaky Blinders 3 times through. Those are really the only 2 shows I have rewatched and like rewatch relatively for a TV show regularly. And so that's like a ton of time because when I rewatch a TV show, I'm like rewatching the whole show. Oh, Parks and Rec is another one. Like I will like sit there and intimately watch these things because I just know I enjoy them so much, and it's like so nice to relive in them. And I feel the same way about books. Like I'm about to finish Malaz, and I'm like, okay, well, I really want to reread Gardens of the Moon. Soon, and I'm thinking the same thing about Empire of Silence. I'm like, man, I'd really love to reread Empire of Silence. Like, I think Tad Williams is up there for one of my first rereads, along with Book of the New Sun, mostly because Tad Williams' first book in that series is my first fantasy book. There we go. We got 4 corners in the house.
Old Dave.
He's got to show us his background right now.
It's probably beautiful.
But yeah, no, I think rereadability for stories, I think, is often overlooked. I think most stories are going to benefit from a reread. I think you're going to uncover things that the storyteller was trying to do with the full picture now, like looking at it. You know when you look at a picture and it's like somebody says a word and then you look at that picture and you see that thing. It's sort of like that. When it comes to now you're seeing the entire picture and now you know what you're looking at. And I think that's one of the most like drawing parts of rereading for me.
Speaking of rewatching shows and movies like that seems like such obviously like the amount of overall time you're putting into it is typically less. So I think that's why it's more normal. I want to give you guys a chance to guess. What do you think is my most rewatched TV show ever? I want to see if anyone can guess it.
Bridgerton.
No.
Selling Sunset.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't know.
Letterkenny.
No.
Real Lives. Of,
Letter Kitty.
It's funny.
Steph?
mine's The Bachelor.
No, I
Steph?
was relying on Jay for our answer.
All right, here it is. No one was gonna get it, and it's because my wife puts this on every night when we go to bed
Oh,
without
How I Met Your
fail.
Mother.
Scrubs.
No, it is Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore
I
Girls.
Have genuinely
You woke her
rewatched
up. You woke
every
I'm ready. What do you
episode
want
of
to talk
Gilmore.
about now?
Oh, well, let's talk about how Rory is an absolute piece of crap and the worst character in the series.
Wow.
With zero.
Well, first of all, that's
Talking
our
about our-
son's name, and it was also our girl's name because of that show.
Oh no. Okay.
Let's talk about
listen.
that later.
She has no.
Sorry, Dustin.
She has
Didn't
no
know what you
positive
meant.
character arc.
No, I do agree with that.
I'm
And
a
I
Rory
probably
hater.
relate more to
So hard.
Lorelai
Thank
as
you.
an adult. So
Yeah. Team Luke, by the way. I mean,
yes,
honest.
same.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, but that's I've literally probably Netflix won't tell us. It just says it's highly rewatched. I think we've probably front to back it at least 15 times. If I had to
Wow.
guess. Yeah. Like I know every
That's
episode.
hardcore,
is
man.
Exceptional.
I wish the answer was Supernatural because that show is perfection.
I have
Um,
yet to see Supernatural.
You've never watched? Oh,
Oh
Never.
man, that's a good one.
I know
schlocky
the dude is
goodness.
in The Boys.
I'm with
on
you.
Amazon.
He is schlocky goodness, man, but also just some depth to it. That last episode, I cried. But yeah, so I think Sam that was a fantastic soapbox.
Well, I have two more comments briefly on things you guys
Please.
alluded to, if you don't
Yes.
mind.
Yeah,
Please.
And they're both actually about Gene Wolfe. So the first
Naturally.
is that Wolfe actually talked about this. He said, my definition of either the best kind of book or a perfect book is one that can be read with pleasure and reread with increased pleasure. And there are a lot of books that are like as good on a reread, but it takes a special book that like gets better the more you read it. Like Lord of the Rings is one of those. I think Book of the New Sun is one of those. I think A Song of Ice and Fire, for me personally, at least, is one of those. But then that's the other thing of just like a valuable thing is because Chance mentioned this, when you have the full scope of the picture of what's being painted by the author, and then you go back to chapter 1, you read it with a different mindset. And one of the easiest things to point to with this is Book of the New Sun, that there is a major clue that is dropped in chapter 2 of Shadow of the Torturer that is like an event that won't even happen until book 5, the book that Wolfe wasn't going to write, as people say. Something that's not going to happen until book 5, near the ending of it, near the end of the series. And he's setting it up in chapter 2 of book 1. And you like when you first read it, you blow right past it because you don't know, like, okay, I don't know what that is, and you just keep reading. But on a reread, it's like, oh my goodness, this was all, it was all planned all along. So anyway,
I feel like Book of the New Sun has got to be one of those you haven't really read it till you've read it twice series, just based off of reading the first one.
People
because
say
I don't know what I read, so I would like to go back. Well, first I have to finish the series, but I would like to go back and definitely give it another shot. There's still one scene in book 1 that I feel so strongly about. When we met to talk about it, I brought it up. I don't know if you remember this, Sam. We met to talk about it. I brought it up, and everyone kind of was like, "Oh," and then they just kind of moved on. And I was like, "No, I want to talk more about what I think just happened." And yeah, maybe we need to DM.
Interesting.
On that
I'm
one.
like, what scene was that?
When the lake scene,
Oh, okay, yeah.
he falls in a specific way and comes out a specific way, and I thought there was a huge thing there, and we didn't really ever like flesh it out. And I want to talk about it. We'll have to do that on another.
Is this Book of the New Sun?
Yeah, it's Shadow of the Torturer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, sounds like Gene Wolfe is a hack Sam. That's
This
true.
is true. Yeah. That is true.
There's a book I need to reread before book 2 comes out. I think I'll get so much more out of it. It's called Mercy Tears of the
I was-
Fall.
I was-
that audiobook. Waiting for that
Oh,
audiobook.
yeah.
Gonna say that because at the beginning there's so much information coming at you right away, and I texted Dustin about that when I first started reading it, and I was like, oh no, this is wild. There's so much coming at you, but I feel like if I went back now, I'd be like, oh yeah, I get all this.
Yeah, I hit up Chance recently. It was like, hey, there's a solid like book 1 overview before book 2, right?
Yeah,
Like-
yep. There is a story so far, and I would actually recommend finishing the second before going back to finish the first. which I know sounds crazy, but
Nice.
I think that I put the gun together in book 1, and then we see what happens with the gun in book 2. That's how I like to think of it. Referring to Chekhov's gun, by the way, for people who don't know that old storytelling concept, that if in Act 1, Chekhov's gun must, if it's shown on screen, it must go off in Act 3. And what I did was I broke that rule sort of, because I didn't show you the whole gun. I showed you the trigger. I showed you, the metal that makes the slide, whatever. I showed you, small pieces in book 1. But by the end of book 1, I think I give everybody all the pieces. And I think in book 2, you really see what that means.
Well, I'm
so
excited.
just saying.
I'm excited to see the gun go
I
off.
like that.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the gun go off. Awesome. Well,
I think
Sam,
I need to give credit, by the way, to Red from Red's Reads for that.
Yeah?
That conversation.
All right, Steph. You feeling it? You got it. You're locked in. You know. What you're
Sure,
doing.
I know. No,
Yeah, rant about how
the 5
Jess
seconds
is actually
that I got to think about it.
rant about how Jess is actually the best male character in the show.
Oh my gosh, no.
Jess from New Girl.
Oh, well, she is awesome, but
Yeah.
no, I think, and this again, 5 seconds before I knew I was even going to be on this for the whole time. I know you support me in this view, but me, have a hard time lending out books for people to read because I'm so particular about how I keep my books. So, and it stinks because so many people at work know that I'm a reader, and they'll be like, "Oh, do you have this one? Can I borrow it?" And then I'm like, "Well, how do you read books? Like, do you read them near a pool, or are you gonna be near
Candle.
sand, or are you sweating near the book?" So I don't like to borrow them, or I get into a habit where I'm like, I have this nice hardback edition. Let me get this cheap paperback edition to keep with it if it's a popular book that I know people are going to want to borrow it, because you don't touch the pages. I want it back. I've taken the dust jacket off of a hardcover before loaning it out before, just that doesn't come back messed up. But it's really hard to lend out. Really hard to lend out books to people that I don't know or what kind of reader they are.
I feel this on a personal level because my wife is she's a book butcher. It's bad. And it's so I want her to read stuff that I've read, but I'm never giving her any of my books. And we live in the same household. I'm telling y'all, she will buy a book in day 2. It will look like she dropped it in the pool. It will look like my 3-year-old got a hold of it. I mean, it is rough. And I'm like, what are you doing with this book? And she's like, I'm reading it. And I'm like, you're doing something with this book, but I don't think you're reading it. So I can't even give out books to people in my own home. So I feel you on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard.
Also, they never come back.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think mass markets are the ones that you can throw around.
For sure.
They're like the Nokia of cell phones.
Yeah.
They never die.
Yeah.
So are you sweating near the book? Yeah. It's
a legit question.
It is.
I
had a buddy
outside reading by the pool.
Oh, that's the water. That's a whole different pool sand.
Oh, I sweat.
Yeah.
I had a friend that I grew up with. I let him borrow Carrie in college. And the other day I saw him at a show. And he was like, "Hey, dude, I got to get you Carrie back." And I was like, "Brother, I am 34. That was it was 12 years ago, sir. Or 13 years ago at this point. He's like, "Oh, I gotta get you Carrie back." I saw it on my shelf the other day. I was like, good thing that wasn't a first edition.
Yeah.
But,
I've never seen Jay move so fast than when he's left a book on the couch and Rory's in there and has any kind of food or anything in his hand.
It's terrifying.
Can your kids get to your bookshelves easy?
Oh yeah.
Well,
Our bookshelves are just in the living room. So at any moment, Calvin could just decide to destroy my life.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
When I have kids, I'm gonna have to hide all of this.
Unfortunately, the older ones aren't that into reading, and Rory really just wants to come in and push them all in.
Yeah. That's my
That's better than it's better than yanking them down
and ripping.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he would.
My daughter dipped my copy of Discovery in a bowl of oatmeal
He's trying to get to the bottom of it.
I was gonna say that seems fitting. That's like
Yeah, it does seem
very
fitting.
cosmic of it.
Yeah, that's
What is in this bowl of oatmeal?
Yeah, this is my insane sister here. She bought reusable covers for her book. She takes off the dust jackets, puts the covers on. Literally, I've watched her do this. It's crazy. But she says, I've grown. I used to destroy the dust jacket to one of my HP hardbacks when we were kids.
Oh no.
Listen. 12-year-old Dustin, he was a different guy. Okay. Yeah, I've grown.
Yeah,
I've grown.
I'm much more likely, like if you want a book and it's not somebody that I trust, if it's not a valuable copy, it's like just keep it and I'll get another one. Or it's like if it is a valuable one, it's like I will buy you a $4 copy on eBay. Yep, I'll have it shipped to your house, and that way nobody's feelings are.
Yeah, it depends on the person. I think there are people who I'll trust, like you said. I'll just be like, yeah, go ahead, take this copy that I know I want back. But for the most part, like you said, I'm more likely to just buy a copy for somebody.
Yeah, I the reverse of that. I don't like borrowing books from people, but it's more because I like to own everything that I read, which is not a good thing. So like I know David a couple times. My buddy Dave has been like, "Do I already have that? You can come get it." I'm like, "No, I want my own. I want my own copy." Whereas my wife literally will like read it, and once she's read it, she said this before. Like once I read it, I'm done with it. So like it doesn't really matter what it looks like because like once I get to the last page, like it like basically doesn't exist to her anymore. And I'm like,
wow.
Or at all.
Wow. Yeah, or doesn't exist at all. Exactly.
It's elite compartmentalization.
Exactly. But I agree with you. You gotta be picky, especially with your nice ones, you know. And you don't know what it'll like eventually be like nice. Like if someone would have told me 2 years ago that my like book 1 Dungeon Crawler Carl could sell for $300, I'd be like, that's crazy. Right. And now people would like kill me for it. You know, and so
not me.
Not you. That's true. Because you're a hater. So you never know, you know, like those are those like original Harry Potters behind you? If so, like, I mean,
indeed they are.
Those are the original Scholastic ones. Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
I've got 2 of those sets because we bought, remember that one we got for Liam?
Yeah. So you never know. But awesome. I agree. Anybody else have anything else they want to add to the discussion of lending out books?
Yeah, speaking of borrowing books, Chance, do you have that really nice hardcover of Gardens of the Moon? Because I'd like to borrow it. I've got it in a bowl of
the Subterranean Press version.
Yep, that one.
Heartbreaking. I couldn't do it. That one.
Yeah,
I'll lock that in a case.
I need to go viral, man.
Oh my god.
I do still have one mystery in my household that I guess we'll never answer. I mean, I know who did it, but we'll never answer. I walked into my living room one day. And I looked at my wife and I was like, something's off. And I looked up at my shelf and one of my far right shelf is all Stephen King until the very bottom. And I was like, something's wrong. And I walked over there, I grabbed a book, and one of my Stephen Kings that I know had a cover on it, the cover was gone.
Oh no.
And it wasn't one of my first editions, thank God, because I do have a decent amount of like cool first edition Stephen King books. It was like, it wasn't the Regulators. I can't remember what it was. It was one of them, but definitely had a cover, and the cover is gone, and now it's just like just a hardback, and it's just black, and like we'll never know. I'm confident Calvin grabbed it, took it off, ripped it up, put it in the trash, pooped on it. I don't know, something happened, and like he was like 4 at the time, so I was like, Calvin, did you do something with this book? And he's like, no. Like,
what's a book?
You did something, you know, and so we'll never know. But you know, I can't imagine actually letting it leave my house if I can't even trust it in my house, you know. So 100%. All right. So the last segment that we always do, we're done with our soapboxes, is to chat about what we're reading and any channel updates. And so I'll go ahead and go first on this. Channel updates. Nothing crazy. Going to be doing a spoiler-free review of Lonesome Dove, and then a spoilers-filled group discussion on the themes of Lonesome Dove, which I'm stoked on. I am currently reading some SPFBO books. Finished my first one. It was not gonna win out of my slush pile. Second and third ones I'm currently doing right now. One is like a Dungeon Crawler Carl style, lit RPG, which I'm enjoying. And then the other one is a high fantasy book that has some really cool world building. I'm really enjoying that one as well. Let's see, how far am I into this bad boy? Hold on. Oh gosh. I am about 60% into The Eye of the World.
What do you think of that, man?
Loved the beginning. Okay. Hating the middle. Absolutely bored out of my mind right now.
Ooh.
I hear that sets
man,
up
that's
expectations.
That's book one.
Now, look, the first 30%, count me in. World building is awesome. I'm in on like the overarching, like the magic system and the complexities of who's good and who's evil, and like just the whole concept of like the chosen one, but he could be pulled both ways. Who is it? Like all that. I'm in. What they've done in the middle is making me want to just like go read the cliff notes until maybe like the last 200 pages. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but
Right.
I'm going because I'm in on the characters. I'm in on the characters. I'm in on the plot, but it's that what he does in the middle. That's like has to happen in every classic fantasy novel. It is just. I'm just tired of it. It's been about 12 chapters too long of what they're doing right now. So that is what I'm reading that. And then I am also reading, oh my gosh, why am I blanking on what else I'm reading? There's one more thing. There's one more thing I'm reading. No, I'm not. That's it right now. Oh, Children of Time.
There we go.
I start Children of Time tomorrow. That's going to be my 12 for 12 read. So I'm going to start that tomorrow. And then as soon as I am done with this bad boy, we're going to move on to The Poet Empress. So that's what I'm reading. Chance, that's me. Channel updates.
Yeah, I'm starting
Reading updates.
I'm starting to do weekly videos. Once a week on Thursdays is a new thing. Just updating you guys on my reading and my writing. That's a channel update. What am I doing with reading? I'm reading Dust of Dreams. I'm currently over 1,000 pages into a 1,200 page mass market paperback, and I'm debating reading a book called What Blood Remembers. And unfortunately, I'm blanking on the author's name. I believe his name's William. That is one I think that's on my radar. Or
it's on mine too.
Because Sam was convincing me to reread. I'm like, man, a reread right now would hit because of where I'm at with Malazan. So like something like The Road, which I know Zachary Shea is like his favorite book. I would probably pick something like that because that one I know I can tear through.
He said he's going to get a tattoo of The Road.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a road.
Just The Road.
I got these Picador edition covers, which I freaking love.
Ooh.
It's like I have a whole shelf dedicated for those. But yeah, so I think I think I'm either gonna reread or I'm going to jump right into Crippled God, which is the journey that I'm on. But I'm like right there. But the part of me that wants to take a break in between the two books, even though Steven Erikson had written them as you read one and then you read the other, which I know is like sort of self-explanatory for a series, but he has a note in Dust of Dreams that he's like, this book isn't really self-contained. You need Crippled God. And I'm like, okay, that's my argument for continuing into Crippled God, but also the argument of like, enjoy the journey and don't try to like get it over with, like try to just like live in it a little bit. And these last couple 100 pages of Dust of Dreams will probably determine how fast I get into Crippled God. But I think I need a break. And then I'm doing the Conan short stories. I have the 3rd and 4th to get through this week, which again, I'm thoroughly loving Robert E. Howard's writing. It's bizarre how much it holds up. It's kind of actually crazy. And I bought the Michael Moorcock books, the Elric of Melniboné. So I think those also have sort of like a short fiction style setup. I have to like look up the reading. I think there's like a reading order for that as well. And I got a bunch of the comics too, because the slipcase is just absolutely epic artwork. So that might be something I dive into, but I know I'm saying I'm reading all these things. I'm literally just going to be reading Dust of Dreams and finishing up this copy edit on book 2. If there's any books I've ever reread, it's books 1 and 2 of my own series.
Right.
Nice. Yeah,
many different versions.
What Blood Remembers, I cannot remember which Instagram person convinced me to put that on the list, but that is definitely on my list.
Romantasy, maybe.
It was either him or Noah Brisk.
Romantasy.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think it might have been Noah that was talking a bunch about it too. But it definitely intrigues me for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sam?
Yeah, channel updates. I don't know. I had a couple of videos that were a little different, and we'll see. We'll see how they end up doing. Kind of like January is a weird month, and that's all right. That's not the point. But I have no video for Tuesday, so I've got to get something up in the next 48 hours, or just call it a bye week.
Heck yeah.
But so not much of anything exciting. But I about my videos, like I'll come up with something. So not too much in the way of channel updates. And then as far as what I'm reading two things right now. Probably the more boring of the two in terms of talking about it is I'm reading The Island Queen by R.M. Ballantyne. This is like a boys adventure novel. Ballantyne wrote boys adventure novels in like the late 1800s. So think like Scottish Mark Twain. I don't know. So it's about three siblings who get shipwrecked on a desert island and are trying to survive. And there may or may not be like other people who've been shipwrecked on it right now. So there is. I'll give you this to give you a bit of a taste for Ballantyne and his personality as an author. Yeah, that's right. In terms of his personality as an author, there was an entire page dedicated to these three siblings waking up in the morning on their first morning on the island, and how the perfect harmony with the girl being soprano, the little boy being the tenor, and the oldest boy being the bass, and a whole page describing this yawn. You guys should pick it up, add it to the TBR.
No, that's epic.
So
I'm in.
Epic. Sam always has the best freaking.
Yeah, that's right. I'm like, what am I reading? And then
why am I like this?
Exactly. I'm reading a historical fiction tome called Legion by Tim Willix, and it is about it's set during the Crusades. It is about the siege of Malta during the Crusades, in which a very small cluster of Christian knights held back this massive Muslim invasion against the island of Malta. And it's about this the novel specifically is about this like noble lady who has a bastard son that she never met, who was taken from her at birth, and she's heard that he's been stationed on Malta, and so she hires this mercenary who is a character. He is a bastard. Like he's a real character. She hires him to take her to the island to like see if they can find him and then survive the siege and get out of there. So I'm about a third of the way into that, and it's pretty dark, man.
Yeah,
but it's been a good book.
That sounds like you're gonna have to remind me of that one. That sounds up my alley. I watched a video of that. I believe like a history dose or one of those.
Yeah, on Malta.
Yeah.
Sam, you always have the deepest cuts, man. I love it. I love it. I knew when you sent me Sam is the going to be the March pick for the book of the month in the Discord.
In the Bookstreet Boys Discord, if you have not joined, go join the Bookstreet Boys Discord.
Join the Bookstreet Boys Discord. And his 10 books are 100% like. It was great to have you go after Jake, because Jake was like, "Let me pick the 10 biggest tome fantasy series that have ever existed," right? And then you were like, "Here's 10 deep cuts," and I was like, "Yeah."
But I tried to be like, what are books that aren't gonna like bust somebody's TBR for? So it's like The Man Who Was Thursday. This is 190 pages. This is doable.
It ain't winning though. Sorry.
That's right.
I'm gonna go vote for it right now.
Yeah, you gonna read some Chesterton? I'm down. Let's read some Chesterton.
Revenge of the Sith by Matthew Stover.
Yeah, I think Douglas is gonna.
Yeah,
beat. I think I was because the besties have been really propping that one up. You know,
it's good.
I see that one over on Stranger Tides winning, which I'm fine with either. So,
yeah.
But this month's read is Malice, and if you read it and you review it, then you get put in on the spinner wheel to pick a book for Jake in March. So you can make Jake read something weird.
Yeah,
that'd be a great idea.
Any book at all?
It's up to the creator. So like I gave a list
I am the creator.
I went on, so Q won mine, and I went on Q's Goodreads. And I picked half books on my list and half books that he had rated high and that I hadn't read. So, and then I let him pick kind of off of that list. So you can do whatever you want when it's your turn. So you're going to have to do it at some point.
Yeah.
And now we have a second book of the month.
What's the
for
second?
February. The one you picked.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to read it now.
I hope it
That
is.
is
'cause we bought
true. I'm honestly, the hype for this book is like, it's getting pretty wild. It like,
What did you pick?
Besties hyping it up,
Q picked the Poet Empress for me to read.
Oh, right. Okay.
And like it just won the Tudor Ramble Book Club book pick, which they do like everybody in their Discord puts up a book, and then they all get together in the Discord and they each pitch it like in a voice chat, and then they all vote. So they're all going to be reading it. A bunch of us are going to be reading it this month. It's getting killer reviews. So I'm very interested to see, because like it's gaining some steam. That's for sure. So, but that's a great segue, because I know you guys are about to say you're going to read it. So,
Yeah. Not to take our theme.
Yeah. Stephanie, what are you reading?
Well, I just finished up a few nights ago a book called How to Get Away with Murder, not based on the TV show of the same name. This book comes out at the end of February, and it's a debut novel from a woman named Rebecca Phillipson. She's a British author, but the book was awesome. I'm a huge fan of thrillers and mysteries, and this was like a book within a book. Follows a private detective as she tries to solve murders that keep happening based on a serial killer who wrote a book called How to Get Away with Murder. And they're both very unreliable narrators and did not see a lot of the twists coming. So that one was a really good one. Currently reading for a book club at work one called The Frozen River by Ariel Lawhon, and that's a book set in 1790 Maine along the Kennebec River. Really, really good so far. Basically starts with them finding a dead body. That's not a spoiler. Happens on the first page. And, it deals a lot with the dynamics of men and women during that time period. And it follows the story of a midwife. And I didn't know until about halfway through the book that it's actually based on the true story of this woman's life. She kept like a day book, and she was one of the few women who could read and write during that time. And her journal was huge during the trial that took place regarding this man who was murdered and some other happenings that go on in that town. And then The Poet Empress is on our February TBR as well.
Nice. Jay?
She does way better at this than I do about talking about books. So she's the better half of this. But I'm reading Samwise. Like Samwise, I'm reading two series that no one has ever heard of.
Okay.
And it's Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Never heard of it.
The Wheel of Time.
Never heard of it.
So I'm on book 4 of DCC, Gate of the Feral Gods, and book 13. So I'm on the other end of the wheel than you are right now, Dustin. Book 13 of Wheel of Time. So, and I just realized while we were doing this earlier, I told you I've only read Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, but I guess that was a lie because I've read book 12 and in the middle of 13.
You're
now.
currently reading Sanderson.
Yeah, I'm a Sanderson stan now.
I've heard he lands it well. So
yeah, no, he did. It definitely, I feel like it picked up in the last book for sure. It was already starting to kind of pick up again for me, but it definitely, yeah, real obscure. Yep. Yeah. So I'm just like
deep
Sam.
cuts.
Nice. And then you're going to do Poet Empress?
Yep, Poet Empress right after that.
Nice.
Yeah, not
So
what we
wrap
were
these
planning
up.
to read together.
Yep.
But we're gonna do
I've
it
heard
now.
it's a good Valentine's Day read.
Yeah. The opposite
oh boy.
of Valentine's Day.
I guess we're all gonna. I'm so intrigued to see how awful it is, because everybody keeps saying it's depressing as crap. So
I know. I wish I didn't know that right off the bat. But everyone's saying it, so it's already there.
Maybe they're all lying to us, and it's like super hope core. It's all like happy go lucky.
Big conspiracy.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, you guys are the best. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me tonight. I had an absolute great time. Real quick, let's go around and just say name of your channel, where they can find you other than YouTube. You guys will all be tagged in the description. once this goes out of live and into an actual published video. But I know some of you guys also can be found other places. And Chance, also, plug your book. So we'll start with Jay and Steph. Where can we find you guys?
Hathaway Ever After on every
platform. Well, that we have YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. It's the same.
Yep.
All right. Sam?
Sam, the channel's iSamWise here on YouTube. And the best place to find me other than here is the Bookstreet Boys Discord, which if you haven't joined, make sure you do that. No, I'm on X occasionally and Instagram not at all, because social media is cancer, at least to me. So trying to stay off of it. So Discord is where I've retreated. So
nice. Great place to retreat to, especially the Bookstreet Boys Discord.
Tis.
link down below.
You can find me at chancedillonauthor.com. All the socials are there. My book, Morning Glory Mercy Farm, Mercy Milk of the Fallen, right here. You can find that series. No, and by the way, not to yuck anybody's yum, but yeah, Mercy, Tears of the Fallen's book 1. Mercy Heals the Fate comes out March 31st. Advanced reader copies are going out right now. You can find that form on my website if you're interested in an advanced copy of the sequel. And other than that, yeah, I think that's it. Maybe some poetry coming out here in the next month also. But that's about it.
Awesome.
Mine's in the mail, right?
Yeah.
Mine's in the mail too, right?
Yep. It's in the mail. Oh, yeah. Actually, you guys.
Delay with all the ice out there.
I'm going to put a form out and just put your names.
I'm coming to New York if I don't get one.
So. Yeah, please.
We're rolling together.
We're headed up. No, I'm just kidding. Awesome, man. Thank you guys again for hanging. If you have a question that you would like to be a user question in a future episode, make sure you throw that into the comments and we will toss that into the next episode. Hopefully we'll be back, not this coming weekend, but the next weekend. But who knows? In Virginia, it's currently turned into like Connecticut, and it's just snowing and icing and -12 every day. So life is weird down here, but we're going to try to get back to the every other week setup. Again, thank you guys so much. If you can like this video, comment on it just to help it in the algorithm. And we've had a blast. Get in the Discord if you're not in the Bookstreet Boys Discord. And we would love to talk to you there. Thank you guys so much for hanging out.
Heck yeah.
We'll have a great night. Good night, y'all.